Good afternoon and welcome back. We got more Bali Major to go through. We're halfway through the day and we got a fresh panel for you to do this with. I'm joined by Jack. You want me to call you Jack or KBBQ?
Jack is easy.
Jack sounds way easier. Resolution.
Hello.
Okay, and BSJ. Brian.
Call me Brian, yeah.
You guys all have names that I have to change.
It's true.
Ever thought about like rebranding, Brian?
The BSJ was kind of already a rebrand. Banana Slam Jamma doesn't like...
Roll up.
Yeah, Banana Slam Jamma, how do you feel? I don't know, it didn't work too well.
Resolution.
Roman. Just call me Roman. I'm a simple guy.
Okay, so we're just gonna go first name. That means that every name that everybody's gonna see is actually incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack, how are you doing today?
I mean, once you have the promo code, you can't rebrand. I don't have such issues to deal with, so maybe I'll think of something while I'm out here in Bali. So, yeah, we'll see. Any ideas you have, just let me know.
Oh, Jack is fine.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
Just go my first name. Now you all try to pronounce my first name.
Jorian?
That's actually pretty good.
Jorian, is it?
Yeah.
Jorian.
I feel like I should know. I've been with my family.
I prefer Yo.
I feel
Yo is easier. You guys can call me Yo. It's all good. It's all good. All right, we're going to go through some Dota 2 because we're going back to Group A. So we had Group A series, Group B series done now too. Back to Group A, Jack. We got Tundra versus Team Spirit.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Well, these two teams, they're actually both pretty close to making the TI cutoff. So, and then they're also headed to Riyadh. So maybe there's some sense of, I don't want to say like agree to like mess around. I think that's really bad as a team. But like you can try some stuff here. Maybe just a little bit less pressure on them. And I think these teams also both have very unique offlaners. Obviously, with 33 and Collapse, and like offlaners are so important at such a premium in this like game these days, evidenced by the fact that Mr. Pomanov and BSJ have both played. You both played offlane in DPC recently, right? So
you did?
You guys.
I thought you were carrying.
It wasn't recent. It was like 2 years ago.
He was not
recently.
enthused about that. Yeah.
No, but I agree. These two teams have like one of the best offlaners out there, and the Collapse. Like I was pretty impressed by the first game they played this tournament already. He was like top 1 net worth the whole game on the Batrider. I was like, I really want to watch that game. You know, I want to learn how can he do that on the Batrider. Yep. Especially when Yatoro had such a good game, right? Mm-hmm. Like he was like beyond godlike and stuff, and he was still first net worth on the Batrider.
They were doing great, at least for one of the games. We have the group stage standings ready for you guys because indeed both teams have already played a series. Both teams tied their opponents. We had indeed Team Spirit played Aster, they went 1-1, and then Tundra also tied Beast Coast with a 1-1. So they kind of, you know, you want to be on the top of the leaderboards, and in the middle is nice, but both of these teams have higher expectations. Tundra, though, Jack, they are already secured for TI, so maybe a little less pressure for that, but I mean, to be honest, Team Spirit, Brian, they have 1,000-something points. It's not 100% guaranteed, but that's pretty likely, right?
Yeah, but I think you'd like your fate to be in your own hands rather than hoping that no underdog comes out of nowhere, one of the teams in like 16th, 17th places. We saw that out of the top 20 teams, 18 of them are here, so you definitely have to be careful. And yeah. My only concern for Team Spirit is Laurel. I think we've kind of talked about him all year. He's just inconsistent as a mid laner, and it feels like it's hard for them to plug his somewhat limited hero pool into the draft. And since so many of the high priority picks right now are in the off lane, we mentioned the importance of the off laners in this game, then what do you exactly do when your mid laner doesn't have the biggest pool? He's usually getting banned out in the second round, and you don't want to first round his hero because the high priority cores are off laners.
Yeah, but just imagine the pressure this guy has. Like, he's going to the, TI winning team, and you already have, like, so much stuff you need to prove on after Toronto, Tokyo, you know? And I think he's doing a decent job, but it's just, like, this team has a big leadership in the face of Yatoro. You know, I think he's talking a lot in the game, and he's kind of, like, pulling, you know, team towards him, and that's why Lara can't take, like, as much responsibility as he would like to, I think, in that team.
And to address Brian's point, I think you've seen the solution kind of in the first series, that you just first face the guy's hero, right? If it's just going to be a limited pool of heroes, kind of the Abed solution, if you will. Just give him something that you can rely on. And they've been doing that with, I think a Legion Commander, they first phased once in that first series, and then they've run it mid both games. So that's been something where it's like, hey, you're gonna get some tempo out of this hero, doesn't really get destroyed in lanes too much, just let Laurel play this, and then let's save a juicy last pick for Collapse, which is something that they've had in their drafting philosophy for some time.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, I just want to address that this is indeed Team Aster, but Team Aster's not the team playing. Team Spirit played up earlier against Aster for a tie. And we will see Tundra versus Team Spirit, just to avoid any confusion.
Really good there, though.
Doesn't everybody? I just saw the pictures of Tundra obviously as well. I feel like everybody looked really good.
Well, we were
good?
we were having like a little piece on beards during Dream League.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was mentioning Sumail specifically because he was one of the highlighted where he's been clean shaven. He's had a big, girthy beard, and there he kind of had like a somewhere in the middle.
I mean, it's a little bit longer than the 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. I personally like the 5 o'clock.
For me, that's like 3 months. But
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not even close to Tsunami tier, but Rezo's a little bit closer to that, I guess, right?
What is my tier, guys?
I don't know, you're closer to where Sumail is, and you have like, is it naturally red as well?
Yeah,
Like,
for some reason it is. I don't know why.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Some people dye it that way. I don't know. People do. What are you aiming for
What do you mean?
with the beard?
With the beard? I usually want to keep it this way because like the more it grows, the uglier I look. So it's like kind of the perfect solution for me.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, nobody has a beard on Tundra, and I do believe nobody at the moment has a beard on Team Spirit.
Yatoro had a little bit.
I mean, he had a little bit of 5 o'clock going
Yeah.
on.
I don't know what is 5 o'clock.
Was it more of a
5
Batu
o'clock?
beard?
The 5 o'clock, it's like the 5 o'clock shadow. It's like you have the stubbles, but not really a beard. It's the
Oh.
It's something you weren't really working on. It was maybe like a lack of,
It's like after half the day's over, you're where BSJ is. That's the 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
All right, so going into the series, these two teams, obviously, both teams, TI winning teams. We got Tundra and Spirit consecutive winners. And they have quite the big history, Resolution. Do you want to take a guess, or do you know what their record is in 2023 alone? Because it is, I will tell you, spoiler, it is quite even.
The record?
Yeah.
How many games did they play total? Like,
There is one difference. There's a well, actually, it's not an even number. I have to do the math. It's 13 games played. This is going great. 13 games played between the two this year, 2023 alone.
Yeah, but I think it's about in the favor of Tundra. I think personally.
One game.
1 game?
7-6.
Really?
Yeah.
Only 1 game.
Only
I thought it
one
was
game.
bigger. The number, the bigger.
No, it's actually pretty crazy. They beat each other in group stages a lot, and Tundra did beat Team Spirit 2-0
I think.
at TI 11. So if you add that,
Yeah.
then yeah.
I think it also relies on the fact that Tundra was a little bit. I mean, I would say a little bit lazy at the start of the season. They weren't taken as as hard as they were that last season.
Mm-hmm.
So this may be like why Team Spirit got some games in their favor by that time.
It could be. Tundra has been pretty dominant, especially towards the later half. 2 or 3, Jack. They were crushing it. I don't know what that was. It was so good.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta pick the right time to peak, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Roman some more because you played against Tundra at TI. You
Yes,
played
I did.
against you know these teams both like very intimate. So from a preparation perspective, like what would you guys talk about it when you're facing these teams? And do you think that's like changed over time?
I mean, Tundra had really good strategies and understanding of the item builds, I would say, on TI, because like I think their coach AUI, he talks a lot about like the small things, about details in the game, and they were really
Used to be our coach. Anyway, go.
He used to be our coach, yeah. And he was really good at explaining. Like I think he became like way better as a coach, like with time, and especially like in Tundra he picked. And he explained like this little mechanics to the team. So every time you play against them, like you understand like every catapult wave, like they would pull the wave, they would kill the catapult, they would push the tower to you, and like they're so good at improving at that. And also they had like a really good time playing together. Like they had 2 years together, right? And they stick together, they improved, and they just confident in one TI. And I think after that TI, they kind of like set up a strategy for themselves to like chill a bit, like for the half a year, like rest a little bit, like play, but not as hard as they can. And after that, like when TI comes close, like they would pick again. And this is what we see right now from them.
That seems to be the usual TI winner strat. Maybe Spirit was doing a bit of the same thing, right?
OG too, right?
Yeah.
Now Spirit, of course, when they went for their double whammy, didn't really play out the way they wanted it to at TI 11. Are they looking good enough? Are they looking in the TI form, Team Spirit?
I'd say they're looking like a top 8. Like I think they got 9th through 12th, right? At TI 11.
I believe so.
Okay, so yeah, I think they're a top 8 team. I think that the leadership of Maposhka as a captain and overall like the team dynamic, if they can figure out like you mentioned that they've already done so far this tournament, if they find like a hero like Legion, something to put Laurel on in the mid lane, I really do think that's their biggest problem that I've seen them consistently struggle with. And so if they can make him feel comfortable in the draft early, then I would feel much better about their chances.
Yeah, because they're struggling, and a lot of teams are struggling with how to work in the mid lane and the off lane to give both of them priority. And I feel like when we're talking about both of those lanes, Rezo, both of those lanes rely heavily on rotations of supports.
Which lanes?
The mid and the off lane. Like where does the position 4 go? You know, you got to help someone.
I mean, I think it all depends on the timings, and like 6 and 8 minute marks runes are like super important because they set up the tempo for the game. And usually supports are doing like, you know, in the favor for the mid lane right now, the rotations, and whoever has the strong mid lane, like whoever has the already like a small advantage in that lane, you know, kind of sets the tempo.
I feel like the momentum on the map right now is why so many teams are snowballing, and you're seeing such massive like 4 to 6K leads at 12 minutes, and that a lot of that does stem from the mid lane. And I think that little oomph can be like a shield rune where suddenly, say you get the 6-minute rune and you establish a little bit of a lead. Right now, I think the runes are very oppressive. It's like you see a haste, you see a DD, and now you add the shield rune. There's just no playmaking potential at all on the guy that has that. Yeah. And I think that's why they're so important now.
Yeah. I also see like a huge pattern in these games where side laners are just like keep staying on the side lanes even more than the previous patch, and this like trio of like 2 supports in the mid lane, this is like the guys who are doing like moves for like from top to the bottom, and like they're setting up the, you know, the movements of the team.
I feel like as a carry player specifically this patch, it feels really bad to go mid, just because it's like because of the twin gates, you feel so connected and open, and your options are available if you stay in the 2 side lanes. But the second I TP mid, if it isn't like a fruitful rotation, like say I try to help with the rune, or say I try to counter rotate with like a faceless void, those rotations mid, I feel stranded now. There's no like natural farming pattern back towards my lane like there was in the past. It feels very treacherous to go through your own jungle.
Because the jungle is awkward, right?
Yes, it's super awkward. So I think that's why the mid lane is so important, because no team really wants to put their side laners there. And you're mentioning the supports, so it ends up being a 3v3, and it's difficult to bring the numbers. So if your 3v3 loses to theirs, then you're kind of shit out of luck.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about the, you know, the nitty gritty, the in-game mechanics, but I want to take a little bit of a step back, because there's been a couple of series today, but obviously the series that this stream had before, it was 19 minutes. It wasn't very long, and when you have it, it's not the shortest game that we've had so far, Jack. There was a 14-minute game between Gaming Gladiators and 9 Pandas, and it was rough one. The whole series was a rough one for 9 Pandas. But these fast games, do you think that, like, why do you think we have quite a couple of those fast games at the moment?
So I think already people notice this patch is like very snowbally, and I think to like play off their point a little bit, I think at the start of the patch you were seeing a lot of people would run their supports through the twin gate to get to the other side lane and just play through that, because like mid is so distant, seems so isolated. But I think that's moved more towards teams saying, instead of moving through that, let's go and secure the mid, because we want our mid to be the super scary, you know, Freddy, if you will, that just goes to the side lane and kicks people out and makes them have to leave there. So I think that element of like, if you lose a couple, like a fight or 2 mid or bad rotation, all of a sudden the other mid laner gets out of control very easily. And I think that's what we saw. And that's what some of these heroes like Ember and stuff just do exceptionally well. Like if you're behind as an Ember, it feels terrible. You feel useless. You feel like no one's afraid of you. But if you're ahead in Ember Spear, it feels amazing. Like you just have so many options to reinitiate, to start fights, to chase people down, and they can't do anything in the sidelines. And that's why some of these games end up just getting out of control really quickly. Same with these Timber Saws, even these Snapfires. Yeah, these spirits.
Yeah. And in that game specifically, I saw that it was going on like through the mid lane. Like the game basically ended on the mid lane, because Tinker was dying over and over again. And that's the hero who cannot come back if he doesn't have a good lane. And like, you know, Gaming Gladiators exploited on that topic very, very, very big. And also like to add on the point of the mid lane, by the time I was sending for the bet boom on the, you know, on the Bali Major, we didn't agree with the coach about like the overall like the gameplay, like how we should be playing, and he was saying that we should control the portals a lot, because like this is like where the movements happen. And I thought at that time like we can't leave the mid lane, because like from the mid lane it's like easiest to rotate to the side lane still, because like it opens up a lot of map for you. Like mid lane is always like the most important thing in the game.
I feel like maybe it shifts a little bit, where like you emphasize more of the portals once the Roches are up, once that's actually a threat. But for like the
I think it's after like 15, 20, like 25 minutes after that. Yeah.
Specifically at nighttime, I think it's underestimated how important that 30 move speed is for heroes from the 5 to 10 minute mark.
Yeah.
So you're mentioning like the twin gates being more important later. I think at 10 minutes specifically, they become more important because daytime, it does severely limit how fast people move from one lane to the other. So I think if you have the rune secured, if you have the mid lane area controlled, whatever team feels more comfortable to like roam free on the map at nighttime, I think it's just night and day, literally difference.
Yeah, that's very true.
Pun intended.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I do think that the snowbally nature that we talk about, and especially the mid lane in that regard, maybe this series between these two teams, we're going to see a little bit of a different game. I do think that the both teams go toe to toe quite well. So I'm hoping for a sub 20-minute game. Okay, we're in the draft here. Of course, Tundra is playing on the Radiant side, Team Spirit on the Dire side. First pick to Tundra, and second pick to Team Spirit. And we have Undying banned, Morphling banned. I mean, we haven't really talked too much about the usual suspects in the draft, but I don't think it comes as a surprise to see these bans so far. Timbersaw is the odd one out, I guess, making it through, because normally he is first phase banned, and the Doom Medusa banned on the side of Team Spirit allowed for that to happen. They open up with the Pugna and the Storm, and then we got Enchantress, and of course the Timbersaw coming out from Tundra. Brian, do you have any favorite openings of this one?
I'm really big Pugna Storm fan. I myself underestimated how much Pugna does on the map. I played literally one pub, had no idea what I was doing, and all my cores were just full health, full mana all the time. And with Storm, he's probably the best hero in the game to utilize that. That's always been one of the shortcomings of Storm, is that when he would go for kills and be aggressive on the map, that he would have to go back to base and refill, and that is just not a problem anymore. And against heroes like Timbersaw, they're definitely going to need the gas in the tank, the gas station Pugna to fuel him up and allow the long fights to go out, because these heroes are very tanky. But my concern, or not concern per se, but what I want to see from Team Spirit with this opening is something to follow up in regards to the damage, because you have the Storm, he's going to jump him, the Pugna is going to be nice utility, but you're going to need that extra oomph, that gusto, to bring down those first two heroes.
I think it's already a good answer to the Timber, because they have a lot of magic damage for him. I mean, I'm not sure what's going to happen after he buys Hood or something. But and the mid lane might be rough for Storm as well, because after some point Timber becomes like kind of uncontestable. And that's the one thing I want to mention about like these mid laners, that 9, he has like such a unique hero pool out of like, you know, pretty much any mid laner on this tournament. He's playing Dark Willow, he's playing, you know, this Timbersaw a lot. I just love seeing him like being creative. Like Bounty Hunter mid was his thing as well. Like I just love how they create an advantage from the mid lane, that because like 9 his you know, this creative nature where he's exploring heroes. He doesn't care about this his rank as much. He's like usually ranked 200 or something, but he brings to the table a lot of, you know, unexpected heroes.
Once you win TI, you know, MMR is actually just a number at that point.
I mean, we've discussed this before. This is like probably the nerdiest team in Dota. You have Aoi, who has like very specific little efficiencies, things that he'll find, regions the map, whatever. Like, and then you have 9, who people consider to be kind of like almost like a knockoff Thompson for a little bit, right? This guy just kind of plays his own heroes. He believes in the stuff. But once they enable these players that have unique concepts and understandings of the game, if they're either ahead of the meta or if they're setting the pace that other teams have to react to, it becomes pretty hard to play against them. And it's really fun to watch too. Like 9, and there might just be an Arc Warden or something, and all of a sudden it's a perfect pick for the game, and you're just screwed, right?
That's true. And we had that thing against them as well. Like we played against his Arc Warden in the finals. It was hard to deal with.
Yeah, what I like
off Thompson. Sorry. Imagine winning a TI, but you're considered knockoff Thompson.
Well, that was before he won a TI. So, but yeah, now he's a little close. Maybe just imitation now. Not
yeah.
A protege. Yeah, what I like so much about Tundra is something they kind of instilled in me was, I think so many players in Dota have like MMR elitism, where like you're higher MMR than people, you're better than them, and it's only for them to learn from you. But one thing that Tundra does is that they scout out like 6K or 7K players that have like 1,000 to 2,000 games on a specific hero, and they're like, it doesn't matter how good we are at Dota, it doesn't matter that we've won a TI, this guy knows way more about Phoenix than any of us, because this guy's played 2,000 games of Phoenix. So they'll actually like add them on their friends list and like chat up the guy, and they've learned that like these people are always super happy to like talk about their favorite heroes, and they like you guys mentioned these little catapult wave timings that they go for, these like little nuances of the game, but there's things that only players that have played a ton of games on a hero would be like, you should abuse this mechanic on this hero, it's super good. And I think that's part of how they like know what to do on every single matchup, even or like lineup that they play, even if some of it's a little bit like wonky.
Yeah, I agree. I was doing the same when I was learning Broodmother. I would just add the the guy who played 2,000 games with Broodmother and just ask him about like some specific tips about how to play the hero. They're really helpful because like you find a Bruce Lee who's doing the one punch over and over again, and you just want to learn from him.
That's a good one. That's a good pop culture reference right there.
Yeah.
It makes sense too. It's invaluable knowledge. So we have the sports duo complete by Team Spirit, Pugna Disruptor.
CIS special.
The CIS special on both of them. They do play the Pugna position 4 mostly. The Disruptor position 5. What do we want to see out of Tundra? They get the double up right now with the 3 and the 4 pick.
So I think Nouns picked pretty much this exact same opener earlier against LGD, and they got last picked anti-maged. I'm not sure because this lineup looks very juicy for an anti-mage right now. I don't know if they would take it here or wait for later on in the draft. But Spirit, I think we agree, needs a lot of damage follow up into this. Probably Yatoro next, and then something obviously good out of Collapse to set tempo and like give them the pace that they want to play at. They're kind of like I feel like they're one of these like sort of still traditional like 4 Protect 1 teams, even if that style is like not as popular. I guess maybe by the necessity of the players that they have or how they're comfortable playing.
You mean Team Spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course they are. This is how they play. Yatoro is the man who finishes the game, the one who they're waiting for. I'm surprised that Lion is popping off so much in this tournament. Like, what are the changes for him?
He's been, like, steadily buffed, right? There's, like, the Earth Spike buff. There's, like, just, like, little bits and pieces, like the talents. I feel like they've just been steadily buffing him because he was so bad.
His Earth Spike is his level 1 spell, right? That's the one you always take. And it's been buffed so many times. It's, like, way faster. It got girth. It got damage at level 1. So, I mean, this hero's, like, always been known to just be a terrible laner. And I've like not felt like he's a liability anymore. He's not necessarily super broken or anything, but the fact that he's not a liability in lane, a hero with like 6 seconds of stuns, is just conceptually broken in Dota. So.
And a huge nuke. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like he's been buffed a lot, and he's right now at the point where he's actually like a legitimately good hero.
I will say it does look like maybe Tundra's gonna struggle a little bit dealing with the Pugna ward, and I do feel like Lion is gonna kill himself on that.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that they went for the Darkseer this game because Darkseer doesn't really have a good combination of a supports to play with. I mean, Lion will, have make him a good lane, but against Disruptor and Bloodseeker, they're gonna suffer. I feel this is not an easy lane for the Darkseer.
He doesn't have that fast melee core that he likes, and also like he's gonna get counterpicked as well. I think the Lion mainly is just they wanted some lockdown to be able to deal with Storm because they basically had none before.
Yeah.
So if it comes down to him, dying to finger, so be it. That's just a line.
Yeah. What if he fingers himself in the process? Because the thing is, the Pugna Ward damage goes off before the spell, so
yeah, he
might just do the, but then just blow up, rather than actually finger him. I'd like to see that one. That one's pretty funny looking.
The question is Thundra still gonna look for the anti-mage after this Bloodseeker pick? Because the 3 heroes here mentioned, like they're really good for the anti-mage to be picked in this game.
The only concern is that Anti-Mage's lane might suffer. He does have an Enchantress 5, pretty good for securing, but Anti-Mage as a hero, I think, is usually countered from the offlane. Like, usually the Legions, the Slardars.
They need to ban Legion.
Yeah.
I want that. But I think they're gonna go for some, like, CK or, like, something like that they usually pick.
Now, I wouldn't even mind something like Wraith King, to be honest. Like, similar idea. Melee Stunner, get the hell in there. Team Spirit does pretty much just have one volley of crap that they throw on you with the Disruptor ulti, the Bloodseeker Rupture. I don't know if the hero's even viable right now.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Like, how do you think that hero is right now?
Yeah, I mean, the thing was, when the patch originally came out, I was like, he's one of the best level 5, level 6 junglers in the entire game. He's going to abuse those camps. He's really hard to gank. I don't really know, like, why this hero is so bad.
The question is, how do you ward, Because, like, there's a warding for the Wraith King where you put the wards and the skeletons go from camp to camp. So what are the warding patterns right now?
Well, if there's one team that would know that, it's Tundra.
That's true. there's still maybe an illusion carry. I guess the Naga's banned, but I don't know how you feel about a PL or something like that here, because then you basically have 1.5. Well, the fourth pick is already out for Spirit, but you basically have one pick to address that right into your offline.
What I like about their picks or their bans on Team Spirit is I think the best carries in Dota against Bloodseeker are just sustain ones that sustain themselves. They heal their team as well. They have Infest. They had Healing Ward. So like that was like why I thought Wraith King might be considered. Is you're just never going to be low HP. Oh, Ursa. Okay. That's a really bad matchup for Bloodseeker. My concern for Ursa this entire patch, I actually think the hero is really strong, but his first 8 or 9 minutes is atrocious because you don't have the Ring of Health build up in lane anymore towards the Battle Fury. You tend to go Battle Fury still, but the Cornucopia being 1200, you can't really afford to rush it in the past in like a somewhat suboptimal lane matchup. So most people are just rushing Wraithband Treads and then going Cornucopia later, but that leaves you susceptible to just getting harassed. And I've actually ran out of tangos before on Ursa, where like you go to queue up more tangos and they're just out of stock. That's a problem that feels really bad to have in the patch right now.
Are those issues kind of solved because he's probably laning with Enchantress, which is the strongest laner out there at the moment?
Perhaps.
Forget with Undying again.
Yeah.
Depends what they can come up with on the Team Spirit.
Yeah, what do you think here? Is this like a Magnus type of hero?
Yeah,
is
this
this
collapse Mars,
damage
baby.
out of it?
Karlov's Mars. I mean,
nice Mars.
there's a way where they can pick like a Viper or something here and completely destroy the lane, but I'm not sure that's gonna happen against the Enchantress. I think that the hero makes Viper life a little bit harder, for sure.
Well, we will not know. I was gonna say we'll never know it, but there's the Mars.
Let's go.
There's the Mars. Nice call. Why is this the best Mars game out there, Brian?
They do lack a little bit of damage, I'm going to say that. But what I like about Mars is he's basically a ranged melee hero. He has like 250 range, so it's not as easy for Ursa to rack up the Fury swipes in lane. And then it also gives them pretty reliable lockdown against the mobility spells that Tundra has, the Darkseer Surge, the Timber Chain from Timber. It basically is going to let them really control the area in which they're fighting, which when you have a Pugna, when you have a Disruptor, I just think that's really important.
Who's gonna take the game, Jack?
I think overall I still like Tundra's draft a little bit, and I think the Mars has its pros in this situation, but I feel like they're going to lack a little bit of damage in this game. I think they had a good amount of lockdown already, so I like Tundra's draft a little bit more.
I think Tundra as well because of the mid lane, because they can put a lot of pressure with Enchantress and Lion, and Team Spirit supports are not as fast in dealing with that pressure.
I'm a bit concerned for Team Spirit's like first 12 minutes. You guys have already mentioned a lot of reasons why. I just think that if they manage to take the fights that they want, like if they manage to get out of that early game where they can group up efficiently with like 3 or 4 heroes, it's easier for them to connect to fights. And I feel like Tundra is much more reliant on having all of their heroes in one place because they need Lion for the stuns, Ursa for the damage. So I'm going to go with Team Spirit. Screw it.
All right, let's find out what's going to happen. The first couple of minutes, very, very important, but we're going to have to see the game to see how it plays out. Let's head over to our commentary duo. It's ODPixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, very much looking forward to this one. Tundra versus Spirit. Folk, we've heard the panel's opinions on the draft. Did you sort of agree with the overall sentiment? Maybe a bit of an easier start for Tundra with the opening they have on their lineup?
Man, I'm kind of torn too, because I can see all these points, like the limited damage perhaps for Spirit, especially when Darkseer gets auras, but I'm also looking, I'm like, maybe these lanes can become a bit too potent and just the constant, like the overall like team fight prowess that Spirit has in comparison to Tundra. Like, they have tons of team fight on the side of Spirit. On the side of Tundra, it's going to take time for that team fight to really kick in. It's where the Darkseer brings everybody involved for a team fight. So, I don't know, I'm torn. I just don't know how Ursa's going to really do. That's the one I'm really concerned about, because he just takes a lot of time. I don't know how he's going to deal with the harassment in lane, and I think Pugna's just absolutely amazing versus this hero, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, overall, you know, you start the lineup as Spirit coming in with this Pugna Storm. Do you think that's been answered well by Tundra? You know, what does it seem their idea is against this incredibly strong opening combo to a draft?
I think it's the auras. I think that's why they wanted this Darkseer, because in particular when you saw them pick it, it's like what they see. They saw Disruptor, Pugna Storm. So you're seeing maybe, you know, he's got support kind of qualities with the Storm, with these two backing up and feeding him stuff like that, but they're limited on damage. So if he gets like a pipe, they won't have damage to kill him. But he didn't see like a core matchup where it's like, hey, wall is amazing here. You know, the lane's amazing here. I have a melee partner. No, he just saw it, you know, a bunch of magic damage. So he saw something that, you know, it must be that, at least from what I'm seeing, is just some sustain to kind of deal with that kind of big lack of damage that Spirit can hit.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you sort of make of the Lion coming into play? It doesn't feel like this is one of the hot supports right now, but Saxa coming into action with it. He's going to show us how it's done.
This is the time to pick it. You know, we're in group stages. Hero's gotten buffed significantly. Your stun is actually pretty damn good now. It's gotten literally last like 5 patches or something. Stun's gotten buffed. Hex got buffed, extra cast range. Versus the Storm and Pugna, you're gonna have multiple disables to control the Storm, but maybe also control the Pugna. So definitely could see some pretty cool stuff from Saxa, and of course we'll have to say it is the potential for the Ags Lion Finger vacuum, which probably won't happen. But either way, the vacuum Lion stun is something that could come into play.
Yeah, if we get to the Ags action, that'd be pretty awesome. But I guess if this game falls to the point where it is going to be sort of that timing where, you know, say it gets crazy late, we're getting these crazy items on the supports. Is there a lineup that feels a bit better to play in a elongated game?
That's a good question. Spirit has a ton of team fights, so I kind of like theirs. The thing is,
was that the Wombo?
Yeah, it's just like the Wombo combo that comes out from Tundra, and then the core matchup, the Ursa versus the Bloodseeker. Like Ursa, it's a good hero to play versus the Bloodseeker, as BSJ was saying.
Mirror. Be a big cover there. It's just one more impetus from Snaking. Might have done it, but Mirror stay hidden in the tree will mean that Collapse loses Courier here to Snaking, or causing some annoyances down bottom.
Yeah, this is the lane to watch for me in particular. Like mid, I think we've seen this Storm Timber matchup that they farm versus each other so often. This is the one where I think the most volatility is going to happen. Who's going to die? Who's going to get shut down? Is Skeeter going to be able to get that farm up? What item choice is he going to do also? That's the thing I'm curious about. It will be Battle Fury, or will he deviate? Maybe. I don't think he'll deviate, but...
Yeah, Phil. It's just one of those heroes that's still kind of risky to not go the Battle Fury, right?
I'm just like, we haven't seen it, so I'm just wondering, like, maybe Skeeter's like tried something that worked. I doubt it. It'll be different than usual.
Top lane up. We're going to get first blood. 33, and Saxa able to run Miposhka out of the lane.
That is one I would not have anticipated, to be honest with you, with the Bloodseeker backing up there. A very good start for Tundra up top. That's level 1. Like, when did Darkseer get first blood level 1 without a melee support also, too? He's got a line, so... Yeah, I didn't actually get the glance how he died up there.
I mean, if the kills start to roll in on this top lane, does it get pretty difficult for the safe lane of Spirit?
No, I mean, Yotaro, I think he's always going to free farm.
Okay. Like, he'll just have some sort of enough self-sustain with the passive.
Yeah. Miposhka might give up some kills, but yeah, I think Yotaro, he should just be overall fine in this matchup.
Radiant's top tower is
Dropping
under
the kinetic
attack.
field here, but not quite in a position to get aggressive onto Saxa.
No.
Don't have the damage at this point.
I'm just watching. I keep looking at bottom. Top, I didn't anticipate that kill would happen. I was saying, like, bottom. I think these heroes are constantly just going to be sitting low. I've seen what Skeeter was doing, though. I think BSJ, we talked about it on the panel also, is like the regen in the early laning phase can be difficult. So Skeeter's actually buying his own salves and stuff like that.
They might be able to go for this. Decrepify has already been used, so Mira's not going to have any way to protect himself. Tundra. So they'll find themselves a second kill already. Collapse stepping forward. Got to be a bit careful. He's got Fairy Fires to play with. So just teasing around with Snaking here, but still being kept consistently low. Really good space being secured here for Skeeter to farm some freely.
This is big. He should be able to get that good time, and we're definitely seeing the Enchantress factor. 3 minutes hits. Healing Lotus has been picked up. Top's doing great. Mid's actually doing excellent. And bottom as well, too. Yeah, Tundra. Setting themselves up for success in this early game. Skeeter, a little careful, but a little aggressive.
He's a bit low this time around, and the Blood Grenade has come out upon him. See if he can continue to run. They set up with the Decrepify into the blast. It's still not quite enough. Skeeter able to escape. Gets back under the safety of the tower and won't quite be able to kill him.
Collapse was 2 mana short. Didn't quite have enough for the spear. And these wands are definitely paying off massively bottom, playing versus a Pugna and versus this Mars. 4 spells that are constantly being spammed onto you. It's definitely helping Skeeter as well as Snaking down here. That's a very ideal start. And now Skeeter, he's got Raindrop. So yeah, rather than going for that just straight cornucopia at the least for the Battle Fury, it's boots so he can play aggressive with Snaking. So they can go for these kills and shut down Collapse. While also, yeah, he's got the defensive capability of the Raindrop and stuff too to sustain. A hot start.
Yeah, they're trading back really well against the spells that Spirit throw at them down there. Top lane.
Top 33.
They've got the glimpse.
Should have.
And that should indeed be a dead Darkseer. 33. He'll try and trade some damage back with the Iron Shell upon him. But he will be going down. Miposhka take quite a bit of damage in return for it. And
oh,
wait, hold up. Saxa's turned up. 33. He's actually able to walk away.
taking literally
All
zero
right.
damage.
Well, there you go. I think, yeah, Yatora and Maposhka are going to be rather disappointed with that one. I think they thought that they had him. I think everyone thought that they had him, but they didn't.
Nope.
33 walks out alive.
Damage, but Miposhka even, I don't know if it was him, but somebody dropped, I
Yep.
think it was Miposhka dropped a branch to kind of protect himself because he was like, wait a minute, we're not killing this. You might actually turn it. Tundra, all 3 lanes, as I said, looking excellent. Laurel, level 5. Timber, he's 5.5.
He's going to hit the 6.
Laurel's going to have to probably move away from the lane as soon as Timber hits 6 just to get some junk.
He's going to have to get the 6, elsewhere.
Yep.
For sure, once the chakrams are out for 9.
Those denies make a big deal. 33 and 11 on 9. Universal, baby. That damage.
Yeah, he's going to be at least a full creep wave of XP ahead.
Full arcane booster. I mean, he's going to get it like pretty much right here.
Yeah,
One more creep.
2 more. So, gonna be a bit of an awkward spot for Lyle in that mid lane. We'll see how safe he does play it. He does leave the area.
The real scary thing is it's power rooms in about 20 seconds too. So yeah, snaking.
I mean,
he's
Mira.
making a move.
He's going to have to crepify up in a few more seconds. Snaking, if we get one last impetus, he would have him, but not quite having the range. So Mira's able to live, but yeah, this middle lane, 6 is there on 9. Not the place to go, really for anyone on the Spirit.
Nope.
They've got to just sort of accept that this tower is just going to get a bit of a beat down here from the Timber and the creeps.
Oh, this is devastating. 6 minutes, he's going to get power ruined. The supports are now just leaving their lanes isolated. They have the Darkseer Vanguard top. Ursa's feeling good.
And look, Snake has come across and he knows that Lyle wants to try and find a 6 around these jungle camps. He's not going to let him have the sort of peace and quiet to do so.
And they see him. They have the ward down.
They know that
placed
Lyle's
it.
struggling. They know he wants the 6. He's trying to find it somewhere. He's not going to get the chance to. Snaking and Saxa coming across towards the mid lane to help set up and allow 9 to take down Lyle. And by the looks of it, take down this tier 1 tower.
And top 33, he's getting gone on, but already having this Vanguard, he's just tanking through it.
They can't.
Toro just can't touch him.
No. Maybe, of course, once the 6 is there, but then TP play is always going to be available if 33 is able to bait out a glimpse.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Not easy, really, to sort of see areas on this map where Spirit can really make any sort of plays, considering how this opening has gone so far, very much in the favor of Tundra.
I mean, this mid lane is absolutely ridiculous. How
I mean,
one-sided it's gone.
Maposhka, he's got nowhere to go here. Looking for a courier, doesn't even find it. Another kill for Tundra, and bottom lane collapse. He's in trouble. 9's coming with a rotation to help out Skeeter and Snaking. If Collapse can get away from this, 9's still got plenty of mana to play with. Another Chakram comes in. Another kill for Tundra. 5-0, 3k lead here at 7 minutes in. Tundra, they're just completely smashing through this opening.
Yeah, and this could snowball pretty quickly with the, Timbersaw being super tanky. We already panel talked about it multiple times. That Spirit could run into some damage issues. Auras are going to come online really quick for this Darkseer with a Timber, who's already going to be very tanky, and has, at least versus Collapse, versus Amaris, he has free kills every time he goes bottom. Some concerns for Spirit now already. 7 minutes in, a huge lead. They're going to have to try to help Laurel get back in this game, maybe get some stacks going for him, and at least try to secure a power rune. I see the two supports making the rotation over toward mid. But at this point now, 9 is... I don't think you can really threaten him at all until you get these level 6s on the supports.
No, absolutely not. 9 has nothing to fear here.
Sox is even getting aggressive with this haste rune. Laurel actually lets himself get hexed.
He's not got a huge amount of mana either. Whew. They're just able to walk up with the combo, Lyle. He's able to zip out in time, but living on the edge there.
His Pugna's not even, they're not 6, I mean, it's only 8 minutes in, obviously, but they're getting rotated and pulled so much now toward this mid. These supports are going to suffer on levels, and you really want to get that early 6 on your Pugna so you can start fueling up this storm.
His quick moves from Tundra as well.
They're going quick.
Straight towards the bottom. You've got pretty much 4 of them around here. Saxa aggressively looking to set up beyond the tier 1 tower. Mira will drop down the ward, trying to dissuade them from diving in for more. Lyle TP's in. He's going to look for Saxa, but the Hex is at the ready. Still got mana to play with. Will continue to commit forward to take down Saxa. Will get the kill.
They'll get 9.
I mean, the question is if they can get out. They do indeed get a second one with Yatora swinging over. So Team Spirit, they bring in the numbers to respond to this aggressive play from Tundra. They're able to stop it. Snaking, pinned to the wall. Spirit finally finding themselves some favorable action here as they bring the team together and take the team fight that Tundra was trying to force.
Smart way to try to recover things. They're like, okay, you know what? We need to try to reestablish stuff in these first 9 minutes. If they want to try to bring numbers, we're going to bring more. It does cost all 5 heroes to make the rotation over, which means 33 is farming during all of it, which I think is like a triple ancient stack. But either way, they need to make these moves right now after this laning phase. So good type of recovery here, taking out 9. And that's pretty 6s actually on the supports. So that's actually, that's pretty damn solid. But either way, I don't think Tundra's going to be too fussed about it because they're just going to back right back up. As you said, you know, the Darkseer is free farming and Skeeter's chilling. But a good move at the least.
Yeah.
Collapse, he's going to be able to get 6 off of that, and the support's also getting closer and closer.
Really, really good involvement from Yatoro. They're definitely one of those kind of tough decisions, you know, pre-10 minutes when as the carrier, like, do I have to leave my farm to try and join the fight? And in that case, absolutely. So very much worth for Yatoro to be a part of that.
Yep.
And they needed him. They needed him, otherwise they weren't going to be getting the kills that they did. So
their best real damage is going to just be coming from Rupture at this point, it feels like. If they can do some type of, like, Rupture glimpse play, which I think, I didn't see if it was actually what pulled him, but either way they glimpsed him into the situation where the Bloodseeker was, then they could actually put some decent damage, but yeah. I don't know, 5-3, but I think Tundra, yeah, super happy, because they just pulled 5 heroes all the way to that side of the map. 33, he's getting these ridiculous item timings, and it's an Ursa who, you know, BSJ was saying it. It's a good core-to-core matchup versus the Bloodseeker, of course, and Ursa's worst time in the game, it really is like the first 9 to 10 minutes. He's made it through that.
he's doing all right, yeah.
Phase Cornucopia, he's chilling.
Top 4 net worth right now. Level with Yatoro. I mean, he was ahead, of course, but Yatoro did catch up with that involvement he had in the fight just now. So, no, we'll see. Yeah, Battle Fury should be on at good time. And you know, for Tundra now, the game has resumed, so you'll be able to get that on your screen, so you won't have to suffer through watching this anymore. In terms of what Tundra do next, you know, they went for that kind of 4-man play. Didn't work out. Do they just sort of get back to farming, or can they still continue to keep going as 4?
Oh, keep going. I think it's Nine's game to just play as aggressive as possible. He's a Timbersaw versus, as we said, like the limited damage and stuff like that, so I think he can play as aggressive as possible. Skeeter, he probably wants to sit back and farm a little more, but the other 4 on Tundra, I'd imagine they can, yeah, they want to look for fights. Spirit can fight back, though. They're level 6s. It's starting to get online, as we mentioned. They have good team fight. That is what they did set themselves up with this Mars, with the Pugna Disruptor. Trying to get themselves some push started too around mid. Oh, Mira. Still not 6 on Mira.
And they'll just bring 9 in. And as soon as he's here, it makes it a bit tougher for Team Spirit to make a move to continue to pressure the tier 1 mid.
Yeah, that was a bit of an interesting smoke there from Snaking. It was totally spotted. 9 was on a creep wave in mid, but I guess he just really wants to make it to top faster. They want to start pressuring.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
So they can get Val does find 9's courier, so that's closed on.
He's found Miposhka up top.
He did just TP up in Miposhka. Some of the rupture on a Saxa, but Saxa's able to stand his ground. Miposhka will go down, 33. He wants to continue to chase on towards Yatoro. Skeeter, he has joined the fight as well. They want to try and find this Bloodseeker. Yatoro with the juke. Does have a TP available, of course. There will be ways to cancel it. And they just got the straight up raw damage to bring him down. So Yatoro and Miposhka taken out the top lane, the tower to fall. This time round, Spirit, they weren't able to respond with the numbers.
And look at this move. 9, he's already making another move toward bottom to set up for collapse and Skeeter.
And this is quick because Spirit, they're smoking up with the 2 of them to maybe see if they could join forces with Collapse. But indeed, maybe unbeknownst to themselves, they're going to be walking into a lot of members of Tundra. They're going to try and burst through 9, and they will manage to be successful. Despite Tundra coming in with the backup to prepare for that sort of move, they weren't actually able to do anything to stop this Timbersaw just getting blown up.
Really heads up move, honestly, from Spirit. Whoever made that call, like they're like, oh, they're definitely going to be going through the rifts. Like, Collapse, be careful. He actually distanced himself as they get there. That's the 2 heroes. Oh, actually, they have quite a bit they could do to kill this Timbersaw. That's the 2 good magic damage heroes at least. That Pugna and Storm.
Some nice moves from Tundra, for Spirit, but still not quite enough to close the gap. This lead that Tundra have.
Up top, Static Storm, and
they really was Saxa dead.
That's some hate.
They have had enough of this Lion.
Good lord.
Goodbye, Saxa. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, when they're pretty, you know, they're probably feeling a little bit behind, so they're probably like, we got to get like some kills just to get Yatoro some space to farm up here. He is Maelstrom. It is finished up.
See that move again down bottom here. As you say, Collapse just sort of pulling the action further up the lane, so and pulling 9 a little bit further away from the potential backup that he did have. Nothing to be done there to save him. Great setup, great bait from Collapse.
Yeah, really good. Really good call, whoever made that call for the movement. Collapse, he is going to be rushing the blink, so going for that second type of initiation so they can get the catch and stuff like that. I'm definitely feeling the concerns, though, as the panel was saying for Spirit a bit. Lanes, of course, had gone in the favor of Tundra. Darkseer is going to be huge, and he's gonna build these auras.
He's got his pipe done, right?
Yeah. So Pipe versus Pugna, Disruptor Storm, even versus Collapse. A lot of his damage early is kind of magical. Share of Rebuke is physical, but yeah, the other spells, of course, will be magic. It's going to block a lot. And they have a lot of team cover.
And I think it was so that last move as well they made bottom, was that at a point where Nine still didn't have his cloak because it was on the dead courier.
Yeah, it was dead.
So maybe if he'd actually had that and Lalan sniped his courier early, they might not have quite killed him, right?
Maybe. I mean, they still had a lot of damage.
I guess. It would have been close.
Miposhka?
Would have been close.
He was trying to go for some cheeky Wisdom Rune steal play, I guess. If you live for it.
He's out.
He doesn't get the rune, though, but does get a nice glimpse of it. So. 1-for-1. And there's, I believe, Battle Fury's done.
Yeah.
Peter also, of course, he did that rush just a bit earlier. Look at the macro game for them. It's just a little bit quicker for Spirit, even though they did make those couple nice reactive moves for Spirit. Mira.
He's going to get caught out here by Saxa. Quick setup and a burst with the finger. Get himself a juicy finger stack.
My real big concern is just like how Laurel, he's starting to recover. He's 1600 behind the other mid. It's the game that he's set up for. Because he's playing into this Lion. When you're playing behind a Storm Spirit into this, it can be incredibly difficult. So I'm just worried because of how one-sided that mid matchup really did go. Maybe they can set up here for 9 though. This could be a pretty big kill. He's got a lot of wand charges.
Enough to save him. Yeah, indeed, as he's ruptured. He will still pop the one, but no saving himself. To be had there with the ult drop down upon him.
It's a nice move. Laurel didn't have to commit too much mana. He's got the Pugna here now too, so they can keep the ball going. Keep the ball rolling here a little bit here. 20 seconds till Timber's not, until he's going to be back up. And they find another big kill. Their lineup definitely thrives up, just like getting a kill into continuous kills, because they do have that disruptor, of course, with the Storm. So they have a ton of different ways to chase if they do get that first kill.
Skeeter. Showed down bottom.
And he's front, so.
Yeah, with his Aegis, he's going to be feeling very safe for the next few minutes. And indeed, with the solid timing of the Battle Fury, highly likely his farm is going to skyrocket. So on the side of Spirit, a bit more emphasis on Yatoro needing to be involved as a Bloodseeker to keep on par in being involved in kills, being involved in action.
Tundra's super ready to fight. As you said, Pipes online, even went back and finished the Vanguard on top of it afterwards too. They are feeling super strong versus any team fight that comes into them right now.
They're going to go straight towards Yatoro. He's on his own right now. He's close to the tower, Saxa. He's able to get the setup. TPs will be coming in. See if they can burst through Yatoro quick enough. They certainly can. In fact, TPs are cancelled there. They know that Yatoro, there's no chance of saving him.
I think that was the 25 cast range hex buff, I'm not going to lie.
I was going to say, it definitely came in at kind of an unnatural sort of range, so I imagine that is just sort of the feeling, as you say, of having that extra bit of reach, because it was close to him maybe getting into the trees and being able to fog.
Oh, and this is devastating. Glyph is on cooldown. They are going to lose a tier 2 as well as losing Yatoro right before it. Tundra snowballing massively in these last few moments. 9-6, 5k lead, setting up for another kill perhaps.
Saxa, he's ready and waiting to open in onto this, but Collapse, he's already out with the blink. Miposhka still hanging around in the tree line. See if Saxa's able to close the gap. Jumps forward to Tundra's toy, but backup's in. Lav zips forward aggressively on the wall. Saxa's able to turn and get the Hex off with the Static Storm. The Arena and the Kinetic Field will trap the two of them, allows them to bring down Saxa. And with the 4 of them, they'll be able to have the damage to take out 33 on top of that. Jump forward for Collapse, they're looking for more. Drag back with the glimpse into the spear. Won't be a tower still alive to be able to trap Snaking, but still looks like he's run out of ways to escape. Double kill for Yatoro. Spirit able to push down that tier 1 and find some big kills there.
Yeah.
Get Yatoro continuously involved in this action that he needs to be.
A 4k swing, pretty much. A 3 or 4k swing just because they have the numbers prepared down there. Tundra, they rainbow TP, but they get caught in a weird kind of 1-by-1 sequence, and they don't have their Ursa or Timber to actually join and back them up. So great spell coverage, great spear combo. They're coming out from Collapse again.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of this game was, as the panel said, right, the start of the game, it had the chance to be very difficult for Spirit. Now, Tundra, they were kind of setting themselves up to have this early advantage. But Spirit, they're dealing well under the pressure, and they're certainly starting to take away that lead that Tundra were growing. Another fight like that, and Spirit they'll take the advantage.
No, absolutely. And it's really important that Laurel, I think he got 1 or 2 of the kills down bottom. Yeah, he got at least 1 of them, but gets involved massively. He is pretty much totally caught back up.
Yep.
So I had some concerns for him. Quickly it gets changed from that movement, and of course he does have that Pugna who's constantly keeping him topped off. And Ult's gonna be coming back up pretty soon, so Tundra, they're also ready to fight. It's all gonna be about these auras and who gets initiated on. Is Skeeter with Blink leading the charge.
And he's just gonna go throw himself straight in towards Maposhka. Decrepify's there from Mirrors. The finger from Saxa. Just enough range there to finish Maposhka off through the Decrepify. Claim another finger stack.
Worst feeling ever as a disruptor. You just get jumped on first. Never the situation that Spirit really wants to have happen. Spirit needs to have like pretty good positioning in most of these fights, just with Collapse being at the right place at the right time, or Laurel getting that jump initiation himself. So I really like the way that Collapse is kind of built for himself this game. He's just building for the team. It's just kind of standard, but pretty important. Just straight Blink and then BKB, just so he can show up to every single fight. And now they're going to have BKB on Yotoro too, so some timing's being hit on Spirit to take these fights perhaps.
And who's sort of Yotoro going to kill off this Enchantress? As they've got easily enough burst, in fact, there with Lal getting the setup. Snaking not standing a chance.
Big moves, and that's the, yeah, they don't commit anything for it either, so they're going to look for another setup. Perhaps Laurel pump back up to full for Mira. Hey, what are you asking the Bloodseeker? What's he gonna like be?
Yeah, who's he going for in the fight? So you just popping this BKB as Tora and just going for the supports, or do you want to try and mess with one of the cores?
Depends on positioning mostly. I mean, if he sees a positioning where he can just get the Darkseer silenced and killed instantly, that's gonna be huge. So maybe the Darkseer in a lot of situations, or the Timber, those are probably the 2 most likely, because the supports should be hidden in theory. Another kill. Spirit's racking him up.
They are. They're finding these openings that the Tundra's kind of leaving. Skeeter will be able to solo this Tormentor.
He's scared.
Oh, he doesn't want to do the last hit.
He's afraid. I think he thought he was going to die. Now he might die for it himself.
Out with the Blink.
They're on
they're chasing him. He's going to go for the TP out, but they've found him.
And they're going to heal this.
They certainly are half HP. They could commit him with the 3 of them.
So
I mean, the question was,
do they know because of the thing? Do you still see the graphical bug when people are hitting the Tormentor on sometimes?
That's a feature.
Sorry, do they still see the graphical feature that happens when people are hitting Tormentor? I think they did.
I think you might do.
They pinged him.
The question is though, was Skeeter's math correct? Would that last hit have killed him? Or I think he had it.
I think he was okay.
I don't think it would have killed him.
I don't think it would have killed him.
He had about like 500 HP. It would have been very close.
Maybe he was scared because he was dropping in thirst range, and he was like, "Oh God, if this hit doesn't kill, then I'm gonna be in thirst."
But when you've committed that much, I think you just accept your fate. You're like, all right, well, I mean, I'm gonna die, but at least I get the Tormentor.
Either way,
yeah,
Spirit's happy because they now took the Wisdom Rune. They took the Tormentor. They're gonna get their Wisdom Rune. Yotoro is gonna be top net worth in a couple of seconds here, and the whole game has swapped around Spirit in a very comfortable spot.
For sure. I mean, you kind of rewind, about 10 minutes or so. It looked like this one may have been set up to be a kind of 20-25 minute game.
Yep.
Absolutely not the case now. So we're back to even. The Skeeter, he went for it, and then he didn't go for it, and then they went for him, and they got him, and they got both. They get the Tormentor as well. I don't know. I think he would.
I think he had it.
As I said, even if you're not having it, 1 hit away, you just roll the dice. You just hit it, and if it was enough damage to kill you, it was enough damage.
Yeah, like what's the worst that happens? Right?
We've just knocked out of the game for 30 seconds or something at this point, and it's slowed down a bit.
We've seen everybody die to Tormentors. We've seen carries die to Tormentors. We've seen players get dunked from axes as Medusa. We've seen literally everything. So, Skeeter, that hurts. That's a pretty massive momentum kind of swing too, because that was the double BKB timing for Spirit. They got what, like 4 or 5 consecutive kills. Tormentor, Wisdom Runes, etc. Now they're gonna. Laurel might just have a BKB of his own pretty much right after having 2 items picked up freely after these last few engagements. So triple BKB. The control is going to be pretty limited for Tundra. They don't really have much to actually catch these heroes unless the Lion gets a Blink initiation, and Saxa still doesn't have that Blink. And yeah, Mira, I mean, Laurel's just always full mana, so always ready to fight because Mira's literally just hugging him this entire time.
Seeing if they can set up for anyone to come in and defend this tier 2 bottom, but doesn't look like Tundra's going to be sending anyone down here anytime soon.
This next timing for Tundra feels like it's going to be a bit difficult. They have the aura, so perhaps they can sustain it if the initiation gets a bit weird. Then perhaps they can look to take over the fight. But there's triple BKB timing on Spirit. So these 3 heroes are going to be pretty threatening to just walk in and just go for these backline heroes and focus fire whoever they want. So let's see which team looks to force the issue a bit more here. It feels like Spirit have a timing to force a little more here. But as we know, Tundra, very good about playing the map, looking to avoid timings until they feel like they have a timing. So let's see if Spirit does get the connection for themselves with this triple BKB. I think that ward actually caught the smoke. It did. So Tundra, they know. So let's see if they can find Skeeter, because I think, yeah, during that time that they went to the left side, they did place a couple of wards. So.
Yeah, no, Skeeter's just going straight back to base. He's not taking the risk of trying to farm the triangle right now with the fact that Spirit's sweeping across the map like this.
In a typical Tundra fashion. They have like really good wards placed around the map, so they get good information, so they can split up and wait for timings for themselves. Next timing, yeah, Roche gonna spawn in 5 seconds.
Oh, it's perfect for Tundra.
They're gonna get it.
Yeah, Skeeter straight over to this area of the map, snaking if he keeps vision upon it, which he will. They'll know it's here. And yeah, this is after Spirit's made that whole smoke movement towards the top, so a lot of time wasted for Spirit, and Tundra getting things back on track with what looks to be an inevitable Roshan.
And now Tundra, they could maybe even smoke out of the pit here and look for a fight themselves. They do have a bit of item timings also. I see 9 has completed his Octarine with Akaya-san. She's got a greater healing Lotus also. Pretty big deal. Let's see if they do look to take the fight. I think Skitter, yeah, Blink and BKB is also done.
Jesus, they're aware. 9.
This could be
He'll grab that as well.
This could be a pretty deciding fight. Whoever comes out ahead of this one could just snowball a bit here. Let's see who gets the jump.
It's a tough one for Spirit to take, but not a fight that they're scared of taking.
No.
As they're coming at them with the smoke.
Didia on Laurel. He gets jumped first.
It's going to give them some information here. The question is if Tundra are still going to get jumped by Spirit now that they've sort of spooked each other.
Both teams want the initiation first. Soxa does have the blink. Will they get the vacuum combo? Not easy to do this versus these BKBs.
In fact, Tundra's headed straight past them.
Yeah.
Across the river, they're going to check out the triangle. Spirit still on Tundra's half of the map.
Ooh. I like this from Yatoro. This is a cool switch up in the build. He had the Mjolnir queued up, and then he just goes straight Nullifier. So just, of course, playing versus Darkseer, but even versus the Ursa, this might be an item that actually enables him to be able to just stand toe-to-toe. This and Basher, right? This, Basher, Butterfly, and stuff like that eventually, maybe if he wants to go down that route. This could be cool. I'm looking forward to see this Nullifier. The Crimsons, Auras, etc. It could be strong. Spirit, they're walking up.
They are. Maybe Collapse can get a jump. Skeeter's going to show he's going to make the jump first. But immediately Maposhka throws him up in the air with the Yules, drops down the kinetic field. Coming to stun, the BKB's popped by Collapse. Drop the arena down, they managed to catch Snaking. In fact, 33's just getting destroyed here by Lal and Yatoro. The heals come out. Yatoro's going to continue to push on with the BKB. They've taken out the 2 of them. 33 stacks are taken out. They can look for more here, Spirit. As 9, who will manage to get up to the low ground with the Timber Chain. Collapse turning towards Snaking. He did manage to live through this all so far, but the Vortex comes in from Lal. They drag him back. Lal picks up another Yatoro. He's got the movement speed to step away. 9 tries to get in range, but the Glimmer Cape's up onto Yatoro. He's able to sneak away. As Spirit, they come out on top.
Who got the gem? Did you even? I didn't even see where it went. Gem. Okay, Maposhka did recover it from here. They controlled Skeeter the whole fight. They got the 2 main heroes inside the wall. They got the Timber and the Darkseer. A perfect kind of initiation again from Spirit, even though the Ursa Skeeter jumps on backlines. He got full control. He got Yulesed, and then glimpsed back, static stormed, etc. He wasn't able to do much of anything. Spirit, an ideal fight for them with the double BKBs.
Yeah. Definitely seeing the strength that Spirit were aware that they had, you know, to be able to go at this fight into an Aegis on the Ursa, into a Cheese on 9. They knew that they could still take a team fight like this, even coming from the awkward angle, right? Yep. Coming from this low ground, they're still able to get that set up in a way to start things. Toro's goal continues to flow in as he's picked up a completed Mjolnir.
Tundra used the cheese. They didn't end up, of course, like, committing the Aegis, but like they had to use the cheese to try to protect, and they still can't. Yeah, they can't even come out ahead in the fight. And now, I mean, Spirit, everything's coming back up. Yeah, pretty sure they're going to be ready to fight again. And Toro, he's becoming quite a beast.
Oh, for sure, we're definitely going to see Spirit look for these fights even more frequently now. They're starting to get this momentum here, 27 minutes in.
He gets an Elven Tunic, probably the best neutral item he could have found here versus the Ursa. Level 18 also being hit. Spirit playing these last few, what, 10 minutes or so, incredibly clean.
Yeah, they keep coming out on top of these fights. You know, when it comes to hitting the creeps, you know, sure, Tundra, they're getting the farm, but when the action kicks off and these teams go head to head, Tundra have been struggling to come out with a clean victory in these fights.
33 absolutely needs this item. He needs this BKB, so he does have it finished now. Because like I think what 2 or 3 fights in a row now, they're just throwing everything onto him. Yeah, sure, you're popping your auras and stuff like that, but you're dying inside that arena every single time. So that long fight's not going in your favor.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Push going again. Arcane Wound up on Skitter. Still has 1 minute left on Aegis. He doesn't have his nullifier just yet, so once he gets that on Skitter, it's going to be easier for him to try to focus fire some targets and just blink BKB and just go for them. Without that, I mean, the Glimmers, the Decrepify is going to be very frustrating. Top, they get the Hex.
Close to the base, though. They're still going to try and commit in for this. Collapse, he's protected and able to get the BKB off. They turn around. They completely destroy Zaxa. Trying to look towards Skitter as well. He's trapped in by the arena. He's going to get blown up for once. See if they can do it a second time it. So they have close to the base. With the nullifier, but Skitter, he's already away. He will manage to live, but once again, these sort of fights that Tundra aren't really finding anything themselves out of. Team Spirit, they deal with the Aegis on Skitter, and they keep everybody alive.
I feel like every time Collapse has been there, it's been so beneficial for them. All of his ults have worked perfectly. All of his spears have been perfect for the team, really. Snaking, looks like he's going to be the one who gets left behind here.
Yeah, they'll leave Snaking to be left on his own. Team Spirit, they push back Tundra's attempts to get close towards the base. And Tundra, yeah, they're really going to have to rethink about how they want to proceed in this game. Like, do they hold things back again for the next Aegis? But obviously that's going to have the concern of this time passing, that the Spirit seem to be getting stronger and stronger within. Now, what do you do now if you're Tundra? You're really struggling to kind of proceed past this point.
I'm trying to think maybe they need a blink also for 33, and you have to have the double
go for the one
initiation.
combo.
You go for that type of blink vacuum stun from the line, but things definitely feel like they're getting difficult, and like we said from the beginning of the game, I mean, Spirit's draft does scale very hard with the double cores here, the Bloodseeker and the Storm with that pump up. Definitely feels like the Ursa is going to get to a point where it's going to be him versus the world. And yeah, he's got the good core-to-core matchup versus the Bloodseeker in theory, but the itemization so far from Spirit is amazing. I love the way that they've itemized this game. The Yules on Miposhka, of course, always amazing versus Ursa, Nullifier, as we mentioned before. Every little thing just feels incredible. And Laurel now, I mean, a lot of these are standard big pickups, of course, but now he's going for Hex. So it's another incredible item, of course, versus the Ursa.
And I guess the thing is now, 30 minutes in with the way that the game's going, next Roshan, it's probably not going to be a free one for Tundra. You'd imagine the Spirit, they will more than happily bring the fight over towards the Roche pit now.
Very close game on the gold front. You definitely feel Spirit, just they've been powering up for, like how long ago? It feels like a very distant time ago, like 16 minutes ago or so. It's like the Tundra was actually the ones being able to get successful fights back to back to back. Since then it's just Spirit every single time having that edge. Full Hex now though, for 9. Level 19. And he is still scaling, that's the one thing. Just, will it be enough to scale versus Spirit's strong scale, of course, as well? We'll have to see.
Decent ways to save one another though, so not going to be necessarily a guaranteed Hex into a kill if Spirit are around as a team to fight back.
No, Laurel super confident, playing with a shield rune up front. Doesn't feel like he can't get burst down, and now they're smoking. Everything's up.
Tundra, they probably do not want to take this fight. They're smoking in towards it.
See what they find. They get a big grab.
They see Yatora at the start. Spear comes out. The Hex to follow up onto Yatora, but he's able to put the BKB. The heals are coming in with the life drain as well. Yatora. He can look to turn. They've surrounded Skitter. They'll take him down low. They'll finish him off. Lol with the double. And now they can go for more Tundra. They've got to bail their way out of this. But the kinetic field, the static storm, they've caught the Timber. They've caught 9. They put a stop to his TP. They take out the 3 of them. And it really does feel that Tundra, they're just sort of banging their heads against a brick wall for the last 10 minutes. Every single fight, they're getting absolutely nothing. Team Spirit just continue to outplay and just sort of demonstrate that this game, even though the lead, it's not massive, but it's starting to feel rather impossible for Tundra to do anything.
And they get a pretty good initiation, so they just don't have the damage. He gets decrept, gets saved immediately. Just he's fine at that point there. Oh boy. And this is an issue, of course, too. I see Skater, he went for Basher, so not having the nullifier, this decrep, he's never really been going for focus fire plays like that. It's going to be incredibly difficult.
And of course, these fights going as they have been, Miposhka creeping his way towards the Aghanims, and once he has that on a disruptor, if he's getting the chance to cast as he has been this game consistently, it's not a game where they've been finding him very easily at all in these team fights. He drops that down on some of these cores, and then Tundra, they're really going to have no options to survive in these team fights.
It's pretty much the GG for Nursa. And once this Aghanim comes out, the thing is you'll have to pre-BKB to jump the disruptor, because otherwise you get Yules and then instant static storm and you're gone. Like the fight is just completely over from there. So yeah, this is going to be pretty tough if he does get that time in there. And he's very close. So Tundra, what's the plan from here?
It's got to be frustrating for them.
I think
the fact
that
every single move they've made in this second half of the game so far is just, it's not worked. Spirit, they've been prepared.
And you can imagine, like Tundra, they probably did feel like, yeah, we got to get these snowballs. These like little things add up, like Skeeter dying, giving the Tormentor up, like all these things.
It did start going downhill from then.
Yeah,
it really did.
I still have to give a big amount of credit though to Spirit for the way that they like kind of recovered, and especially recovered Laurel's game. Yes, it wasn't like 20 minutes of him getting stomped or anything like that, but the first 15 minutes he was struggling, and then he just gets kill after kill after kill. Mira is just sitting behind him, draining him every single time, life draining. He's 6-1 and 12. He's 18 of the 20 kills on this Storm Spirit after he got kind of bullied and lost his tower early. So very good stuff.
Let's see what they can do here. Coming to that point of the game where Roshan will be returning just a few seconds until he's back up. Both teams, of course, now at this point are going to have an interest in this.
Oh, I'm getting blessed. I finally get to see a Bloodseeker Blood Mist game. Every time I wanted it, they never buy it. I've seen like the Bloodseeker versus PLs, they don't buy it. This game, Yatoro's feeling it.
This is a little awkward for Spirit though. They were hanging around here, but pretty much as soon as they left the area, Roshan did respawn.
Seconds.
They're coming back down here, but it's only Mira and Yatoro right now. They don't have the full team with them. So there will be a bit of a chance for Tundra to go for this Roshan without interruption, and indeed they'll get it. Spirit just sort of pulling back from the Roshan at a bit of an unfortunate time, just at the moment that it did respawn. Tundra able to get lucky with that spawn time.
They might still fight. I think they might still look to go for it here. The Hex instantly collapsed.
They try and return it on towards Mars, but they'll be the BKB off the spear there as well. They've trapped Skeeter. They're going in straight away for 9. Trying to eliminate the Timbersaw first. They'll find it. See in return, Miposhka, he is able to bounce away. He's been decrepit. He yaws up into the air. They can't commit to kill the Disruptor. And now Spirit, they can just swing back in and look to continue to take down further cores. They bring down 33. They get snaking. Once again, nobody dying on Spirit. As, they tried to get this Disruptor, but, Decrepify gets thrown out his way. Miposhka then uses himself up. It's a lot of time trying to get a kill that just completely avoids them. They can't even kill the supports.
No, and Collapse, they actually pre-clicked him with the Hex when he jumped in, and it still doesn't matter. He gets every spell off, they get the connection. Yatoro does 7,000 damage in this fight. He gets all 3 kills. Skitter now also, puts himself on display.
He's trying to make a move here, but I think this is kind of happening because they know that, they haven't been able to fight them for the last 20 minutes.
Nope.
It's probably not going to change. He'll put the BKB.
Rupture, it's back up.
And Skeeter, indeed, not even going to be able to crawl back to the fountain. The push will come in on this bottom lane. 7k lead, not the biggest of leads whatsoever, but definitely a game that feels way more out of control than the numbers imply.
With the way that they're getting the jump, every team fight, right? The supports are playing freely on Spirit. Every single time I'm just watching Mira, full health pool, draining his type of allies up. They can get Laurel here. Just kidding, he's fine. Yatoro runs in.
Yeah, BKB's out, and Yatoro, he's going to go straight towards Saxa. Saxa taken down. Yatoro still looking for, but BKB's starting to come to an end. The Hex upon him, he has been coming. They're bringing it low, but indeed there's the turnaround. Miposhka's made the delivery here with the Ags. They do lose Yatoro. Chi is coming out for 9 as he'll heal back up, but it's 4 dead again on Tundra. See if 9 can continue to do anything more on his own. A buyback will come in from Saxa. Lyle,
he gets caught.
And he's still got mana to play with. Lyle jumps in. Look at the spear to push back the 2 of them. Lyle's able to live. The arena's back up. They've caught the 2, but the finger's back up. They try and turn, but Lyle, he uses his last bit of mana to zip in, kill off Saxa, but it was his last bit of mana. He's doing his best here to dodge the spells of 9. He's got the vortex back up. Lyle's still alive. Finally dies, but it costs 9 his life. A messy fight that
Messy.
finally for Tundra they get something, but it's of course still not a lot as the lead continues to grow for Spirit. Yeah, they're pretty much the only fight where Tundra's found something in the last 25 minutes, and it's still a bad fight.
I love how they, like, Spirit's keenness on just continuing to want to fight, even though they don't really need to continue fighting down there. Disruptor gets his Ags, and he's like, oh, 3-man Ag Static Storm. And then Collapse gets his Refresher delivered, so he's like, oh, I'm jumping in as well. They go for the kills. I mean, they get them at the end. But it is quite a bit giving up, of course, too, because 9, he has hit a huge timing. He actually got the kill before he died, I believe, right?
He
so he's level 25.
He just died to a Remnant, I think. It was the final bit of damage as he chipped away.
So now he actually has double Chakram.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the start of this fight, he's level 21.
Yeah,
so
he got
four straight levels from that fight.
So I'm going to be looking at him to actually clear heroes. I think now there's actually burst potential for maybe if they get these Hex catches on some of these heroes.
Maybe there is a bit of hope for Tundra here.
Maybe small, very small, of course.
I mean, because how's the buyback situation? Well, it was just Saxa, right, that used his.
Yeah, it was just Saxa, and he got pretty unlucky too. He like jumped to get the Hex, but the Storm got glimmered as he jumped, and then he got turned and gone on. But then he got lucky because then the Spear actually pushed him further into the base, so they had to chase him. Blah blah blah. So it's a funny little fight there. But that was, I believe, also Aegis Cheese that was used during the fight, of course, and I believe the Aghanim Blessing for Skeeter, he did pick it up early, and he couldn't really do much of anything. He was fully controlled inside that fight when he got chased through, so. Now he has Nullifier. Now maybe he can actually focus fire some heroes through the deep breath. Okay. We'll see.
They've got another Hex picked up on the side of Spirit now. Miro's got his.
Oh my lord, he is huge. And I mean, Philosopher's Stone.
As the supports are having a great time on Spirit.
Both of them did have Phillies. They both still do have their Phillies.
Looks like they're setting up again to bring this bottom wave round and try and pressure for the high ground. Still, Tier 2 in the mid lane, but the 2 side lanes are open.
Collapse is playing. Collapse is on fire this tournament. I got to watch at least, like, it's of course very early in the tournament, but I got to watch some of his other games earlier, and he was kind of carrying Spirit. I think this game he's not like carrying, but the way his spellcasting, so he's carrying like a support kind of role as this Mars. He's owning so hard.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely working out to be quite the last pick to their draft.
Yeah. And it's a hero that I think a lot of times, like, we see it, and most people see it like last pick, and it falters pretty hard. Collapses having quite a game. 8 seconds until his Refresher's back up. The Spirit's about to look for this fight.
They got try and focus 9 first. That's about half HP. 33 jumps into the BKB as well, trying to turn things around. 9's able to take the chain up to the high ground, but Lal, he'll be quick to chase him.
Skeeter.
Take him out. 9 out for 100.
Trouble.
Lost my posture on the side of Spirit. Spirit, they're still ready to push on for more kills, more causes. Skeeter, no saving for him. 9 and Skeeter out of action for 90 seconds without buyback.
Now they do way too much damage. Yatoro does more than like everybody in the team fight combined from both sides. He just eviscerates heroes. It wasn't even the cleanest initiation. They actually did not get the Ag Static Storm before the BKB of the Timber because I believe the Ascetic Cap procced, so he got status resist. Either way, they kill him anyway. So Tundra in a situation where Spirit maybe messed up a slight bit of that initiation, doesn't matter.
Just dropping the wall here, 33 to try and make some illusions and push them back because he knows he's not going to get the backup of Skeeter or 9 for still a full minute.
Now we're dropping. Racks drop fast.
Bottom Rack's not standing a chance here. Spirit this time round having no struggle, taking away a full set of Racks.
25 now hit on Yatoro as well, so now he's got the double ruptures, which is always going to be the dream versus this Timber, Darkseer, Ursa. 25 also hit on Collapse. And yeah, we did see, unfortunately for 9, of course, even though he did hit the 25 right before that fight, he was just absolutely, not like fully controlled, but he was on the full retreat kind of in the fight, so wasn't able to actually utilize any of his damage. Spirit, 13k lead. Pretty much all the important spells going to be back up in a second here. Static Storm's at the ready. Already on there.
They find him in the trees here, Mira. Catches him with the Hex opening. That's another core dead. 33 does have buyback. They may even forced to use it here because they're going to bring the push down the middle lane.
Thinking.
Well, using a huge amount of mana, but not to be worried as Mira is ready to top him up. It's alright, he's ready to dive in. Skeeter's going to come in and return with the bashes. Lal, he'll zip forward to finish off snaking. BKB being popped now by Yatoro as he's on the retreat with double buybacks come out from snaking and 33. But it's not to catch anyone right now. Yatoro getting healed up here by the life drain. 9 trying to find the Pugner.
Yotaro?
He's getting low. The impetus is not quite enough for 9. He's able to cut across. They bring him down. The arena's here in return as Collapse and Lyle try to turn, but the Fury Swipes are stacking up for Skinny. He's brought down Lyle. Now they can look towards Collapse. BKB's back up. See if they can chase down this Mars. It'll be a huge kill to find already on top of Yotaro and Lyle. As 33 keeping his distance, they're surrounding and kiting Collapse. They'll commit him for the kill, and Tundra, they will manage to strike back here. They push back Spirit. Does cost them the 2 buybacks from 33 and Snaking. But again, they're keeping this game alive, Tundra.
Needed buybacks, absolutely needed. Good damage. I mean, a bit of an overcommitment, it did feel like. Spirit, they maybe got a little eager there, rupturing the Enchantress, diving into the base. But Tundra, they're able to punish this time around. Buybacks come in, they get some good connection. And honestly, Snaking, he did a fair bit of damage there to Yotaro as he's trying to run away. Gets like, what, 7, 8 impetus shots onto him. And Skeeter, level 25 sit. If it's toe-to-toe, standing straight matchup versus the Bloodseeker with his Nullifier now, he can take those fights.
I see how much damage they can do. 3 heroes dead on Spirit.
Safe.
Quite the opening that Tundra's managed to find. The first fight in quite some time that goes in their favor.
It's expensive,
They'll back off from this.
Just 2 buybacks.
I mean, Roshan's back up. Skeeter's going to be able to get in, so another great opening here to step into the Roshan and claim what will be, I believe, their 4th Roshan. They've managed to seal themselves to this game, Tundra, 43 minutes in.
Okay, now the question is, do you give the Ags to Saksa?
I mean, who else is needing one?
It's probably the Timber is
Not
honestly like the best one, but I'm like, okay, they'll give it a 33. All right, okay.
Okay.
I mean, I was obviously joking a little bit about the about the line, but okay, interesting. They'll give it to the Darkseer instead. And yeah, Collapse. It was instant response.
The Roche timings have indeed been very, very, very good for Tundra. The last 2 in particular, right? That one coming in at the kind of the one point in the game, in the late half of this game, where Tundra did get a good fight under them, and then of course that last one coming at the exact moment that Spirit kind of gave up around waiting at the pit and leaving it.
I mean, because honestly, like, if you look at the whole game, really, if Tundra didn't have these Aegis, this game would have been kind of a stomp from Spirit, it feels like. The Aegises have been keeping Tundra in a place where they can actually potentially come back in this one still.
I mean,
I can understand Collapse's frustration, for sure.
I mean, that's Dota too. You know, there's RNG involved, but it's RNG that you can plan for. And Tundra, they've managed to secure themselves those last 2 moments around Roshan.
Have you seen Miposhka's inventory in the last few moments, by the way?
What's he going for now?
Look at he's got 4 ops and 10 sentries. My man is ready for the warding mission, and he is ready to find the opportunity to seal this game. But Tundra, they're definitely still making them work for it, and now Aegis, G's, and everything too. It's another extra layer that could just be difficult for Spirit to just barrel right through. 33, it looks like he probably wants to buy his item, because he did, of course, use that buyback earlier. Could be another big one. I mean, Lincoln's, of course, versus these Ruptures and stuff, definitely still big. I don't know.
He's out of that.
He's hungry. He's big, 25. A wildly close game, even though it was, 15, 20 minutes of Tundra owning, then 20 minutes of Spirit kind of owning this whole time. It's kind of back to a state where initiation is going to be a big dictator of what goes down for the most part. Still feels like Spirit in quite a comfortable position, of course, but if they make a couple mistakes, you can definitely see Skeeter take advantage.
Arcane room for Skeeter as well. Always a nice one to have on this Ursa. Really enable you to pop off in the fights between all the Earth Shocks and Enrages.
Let's see if he gets Yules immediately, though.
That's true. And that's what, that's Miposhka's job. Oh, there is indeed ways to mess with him.
Skeeter.
To take this all away from him.
He's in.
You get a glimpse of him here as he shows his face. Just going to try and push back onto Lyle. Lyle kites him out. They bring the Skeeter down pretty low. They won't quite be able to finish him off the once. He just will be protected as Skeeter's going to be able to safely stand to the side and heal up here.
That's one Rupture used.
Good look to go again, Tundra.
Spirit also, I mean, they still are very ready to fight. I mean, they expected a Rupture, so they still have another one.
Yeah, they've got the Refresher ready to go again on Collapse with the double ult. And there's to get the Hex open. Quick damage done this time round. Not a chance here on the first life. Skeeter Collapse jumps in. He's only able to trap Snake. The Spear comes in, and indeed the Static Storm laid down. A Hex to follow up. Skeeter not a chance on his second life as he goes down. Saxa just trying to steal some mana on the way up. But he's indeed going on the way out. He's out, 33 as well, finished off by the spear. With that, 4 heroes gone.
And that might just be it.
This is going to be a big push coming down the middle now. Spirit.
They're so good at fighting this game, honestly. The perfect target they go for. They get the Ursa, they bait him. He doesn't want to kind of pop too much of anything because he has his Aegis, but then it's like, oh my god, why didn't I use BKB? I'm respawning into an Ag Static Storm.
Yeah, no, very well prepared by Spirit. I mean, honestly, we've seen the frustrations that Spirit may have had for the timings of the Aegises that Tundra got this game. Every single Aegis fight has pretty much been a fight that Spirit end up taking against Tundra.
I mean, honestly, like Spirit, it's so wild that this game, it kind of is a stomping game for Spirit in a way, but Tundra has made it look kind of close, all things
considered. Yeah, they have. They managed to extend this one. And it's still not over yet. You know, we're going to have Saxa back up in a second. 9, he has got buyback. So they'll be able to keep this game going a little bit more here, Tundra.
Ag Static Storm is back up, though. So as soon as they do a respawn, they could just get caught inside of it again from Pushka. And they are going to have to play versus Megas.
Approach picked up by Lal as well. Let's see if they get a chance for one more fight. Spirit, they've had enough. They want to put an end to this one. Saxa gonna get caught by the arena. A Spirit claim another life. The fortifications there, 10 seconds until we're gonna have the Ursa back in.
It's over.
But the Ancient's exposed. It's just 9. He'll throw himself in to try and push them off. He isn't with the Hex on Yatoro. Bring him down pretty low. Collapse is trying to finish up the Ancient here with the Aghanims. That's 9 gone. No buyback left on him. Skeeter back in action. Tried to come in onto Collapse, but Spirit, they're just closing it up. Onto the Ancient they go. GG is called. Spirit, they will take this game 1. 49 minutes in though. You know, Tundra, they made them work for it, but Spirit still not struggling to close it all up in their favor.
It was a bit of a weird game, right? I feel like Tundra, I think they had to play this game kind of like super clean overall. I feel like those mistakes, especially the couple slip-ups there from Skeeter at that like 20 to 25, is what allowed Spirit to get that triple BKB timing and then just cruise and take every single continuous fight. But either way, I mean, the game still looked kind of close because Tundra, they know how to play this macro, they know how to play the map. I know people hate it and stuff like that, but they got a bunch of rushes. But this was, honestly, this was a pretty clear victory from Spirit for the most part in this game. Every fight was theirs.
Yeah, I mean, what was that down to? Was that always going to be a bit of a difficulty for Tundra considering their lineup, even if they did, you know, did indeed get this sort of lead in the early game? Just something about the way these sort of heroes clash that we're going to cause issues for Tundra then?
It's always going to be a case like with like Lion and stuff like that, where sometimes you can lack
until now being picked every once in a while. But always the weakness of Lion has been that he's so squishy. And he did die an awful lot. Because it's a very, especially for a Storm Spirit, it's such an easy hero, Roman, to jump straight off.
Yeah, they had two of the best heroes against Lion. They had Mars on top of like with the Storm Spirit, and the Lion had no play. Like basically the whole game he was just.
But it was picked into Storm Pugna. I feel like that was like setting up Saxa for fail almost.
I mean, he's generally good against Storm because you can be the first initiating on him, but they had Mars as well, so it was like way harder.
Yeah, if
job.
him +1 goes on the Storm, then you have the Mars threat. That's what I liked so much about the pick, was that Mars Arena is, we think of it as being countered by BKB, perhaps good against the cores in the early to mid game, but it actually just screws support heroes at like every stage of the game. They want to buy Glimmers, Force Staves, stuff like that. They don't want to go BKB. Yeah, maybe Lion had a shard at the end of the game, but even then it's like, it just completely ruins the way they want to play the game. And I love the way Mars started, or Collapse on Mars started to prioritize even just arenaing snaking on Enchantress later on in the game. He was relying on Hurricane Pike for survivability, and it was also seeing how Yatoro was getting taken out of the fight by getting pelted by the Impetai.
Yeah.
So being able to arena her, even if she doesn't die, snaking won't be able to hit people.
So, Jack, you did say everybody played to their strengths. We have Tundra, of course, doing well in the lanes. Did they do well enough, according to you? Like, they came out ahead, right? They came out ahead. They had like, what, a 4K lead, net worth lead, which doesn't sound like it's enough to be considered actually hard winning the lanes.
It was a pretty big lead. I mean, I don't think you can ask for much more than that coming out of the lanes. I think, actually, the offlane picks we're talking about, it almost feels like if that pick instead of the Darkseer had been the Mars before Spirit could get to it later, it feels like it would just be a much different game. Again, we talked about the Darkseer's like seeming lack of impact. Like they just lacked a little bit of catch early on. So you have the Timbersaw coming out of mid, you have the Darkseer. They weren't able to leverage their net worth by forcing good fights. You saw a lot of like just kind of wild goose chase running around, and that gave Spirit the time to set up and punish them for it. So I think they lacked that component to be able to put their foot on their opponent once they had that early lane advantage.
Yeah, I also want to mention that either lineup didn't have like very good push potential, and that's why like it came down to whoever like takes fights better. And Spirit, definitely, like with their heroes, they could initiate better, like play the map a little bit better, but you know, they still dragged the game super long.
They really did. We're gonna of course see what's gonna happen in the next game of this series. It's a 2-game series. Can Tundra tie the series, or will Spirit walk away with the 2-0? We're finding out. Stay with us. We'll be back after a break.
Use your skills in the gaming. 1xBet.
Baru Vision Flag susu set. Nikmatnya paduan sereal halus dengan susu bernutrisi.
Lindungi mesin di kemacetan dengan Shell Helix City.
Pugna and Storm were smoking towards Mars, you know? And it's like, that's the type of play that I think Tundra is maybe not respecting them enough for, because sure, if they go on collapse and Pugna and Storm take an extra 10-15 seconds to connect, that might work. But in this case, Team Spirit's like already ready for that follow-up play, and I feel like if they just didn't give them that, I was thinking the same thing before you gave your, like, they need to chill out. I was like, if I'm Aoi right now, I'd say, hey guys, like, we were owning. Can we just, like, accept that we're owning and not try to, like, steal everything from them?
Yeah, exactly.
It just felt forced.
Seems like a luxury. Maybe they. I mean, you can. I feel like you can chill, but I feel like they couldn't chill either. Like Team Spirit didn't let them chill, Jack. They just went. You got to be prepared for those fights.
I mean, they let them chill when it was Roche time, but
Yeah.
other than
That is
that,
true.
not really. Yeah, I think you don't panic too much from this game. It's like, hey, you know, we got what we wanted out, like, for the most part. I think maybe a little bit more synergy between the offlane pick that's coming out and the mid, because again, if you want this Timber Saw, and you mentioned not having like a melee support that naturally pairs with the Darkseer, not really having like an apparent use for the Darkseer until the last pick, other than for the lane, I think that probably hurt them a lot in this game. So like you said, they weren't really taking the towers, they weren't really able to force the fights that they wanted and leverage their strength. So maybe if there's any adjustment in the draft, that's the point that you look at.
Yeah,
Wow.
Darkseer is a very snowball hero, and he needs, he needs partners to do that. And I really like this this morph ban. It's such a respect for for Yatora morphling.
I must say, well, Team Spirit banned out Enigma. We've seen Enigma picked up a couple times as a attempted counter to the Undying, and sometimes it kind of works. But I guess Tundra don't take the bait. They don't ban the Undying. They ban out the Enchantress instead, meaning Team Spirit will get it. We also have to keep in mind that Timbersaw and Medusa both in the pool. Compared to previous game, there's quite a bit left in there. And it is Pugna that Team Spirit is opening with. So Undying.
Everything you just said made no sense now, because you said it all based on Undying.
Yeah, because everybody always wants Undying. Why don't they pick it?
Because they want Storm 8
yeah,
big.
if they want Storm, it's still available.
Wouldn't you, if you're Tundra, wouldn't you go Undying Storm? Or is that not feasible?
It's not the same, right? It could be. It's absolutely something they're probably considering, but...
Like, can steal it.
The question is...
Is Nan really a big fan of a Storm like this?
No.
Is he kind of played at one Storm like this?
Could you ever just go, like, Undying Medusa?
Yeah,
like,
maybe you just take Medusa here.
Yeah, I was going to say,
yeah,
like,
Undying
maybe
Medusa
make
is
them
a good
pick Anti-Mage.
good
Team
one.
Spirit would be a team to do it, though. But then they would
Right
get
away?
Storm, Techies,
Second Timber.
Wow, Undying making it through the first phase. Potentially.
Are there more combos with the Pugna, or do you really want the Storm here?
I think you really want the Storm, but maybe...
I think Storm is the best. There's Flash Strike also, but it's not as powerful, I think.
Yeah, we saw it lose in lane to Timbersaw, so they might be concerned about that again. But even though it lost its lane, it's still owned.
Yeah, in the game. Yeah, that's why they're thinking the same way.
There it is.
I'm glad that from the Bali Major, like, I played with Bad Boom and they still, like, making the same, like, we had the same priorities back then, and people still, you know, keeping up with it.
The Pugna Storm priority?
Pugna Storm, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this gas station has been it's been running for a while in like all regions. You know, and I think in the Chinese region you saw it. I think it went down as the DPC season went on. It felt like other teams could like beat it. Like, I remember Astra was like running this combination all the time. But looks like Spirit still believes in it. They won game 1, so.
What about Keeper of the Light? Did they like play Storm Cuddle, or just Pugna is the only one that they go for?
I think Tundra picked it in their earlier series in the second game. I don't remember if it was with the Storm though.
Was Pugna banned, or was like, did they prioritize the Coddle higher?
I don't recall the whole draft.
The thing, I mean, come on, this is your job, Jack. I mean, I think why people like Pugna more is because they nerfed Blinding Light level 1 for Coddle, and then over the course of like 4 or 5 patches, Pugna was given like a free Ether Lens on his Nether Blast. They just kept giving it an extra 50, 100 range. And I used to be like, when you play Pugna, you have to stand in front of the guy to hit him with that blast. You had to be close enough for like a melee hero to almost hit you.
Yeah.
And now you're just sniping range creeps. Your attack range is about the same as your Nether Blast range, so you're suddenly winning all these trades in lane. Super cheap mana spell. So I think not only is this hero at the gas station we've been talking about, but he also secures most lanes. So kind of just does it all.
Yeah, and there's no Enchantress to punish this game like we saw last game, right? As Roman mentioned, just constantly pelting him with the impetus in lane, and then grabbing those creeps early on to grabbing the creeps early on to rotate take the tower mid, so they won't even have that point of pressure this game.
Yeah, talking about the small details, remember that I mentioned that because Skida was strafing towards that Pugna, Snaking was able to get a good trades out of it. So it's pretty important for your, lane partner to be able to help you in those small, engagements where your support can out-trade the other support, and it makes such a big difference in the laning.
I just want to hit creeps. Are you saying I'm supposed to help my support?
A little bit, yeah, sometimes. So. Selfish.
No, it's something I'd say specifically in Europe. Like when I moved here, I noticed it a lot more in lanes. Is how often the carries are being hyper aggressive level 1 and 2. I not to flame an A or anything. That's just something I didn't see nearly as often. And it's something where it's a lot of times they're not even doing anything, but they're consistently posturing. Like they're just walking at the guy, and the enemy support has fear instilled in them, which allows your support to get those extra few hits, which is what you're saying, I believe. So.
That's the first thing Fogged taught me when we laned together. Assert dominance.
There you go.
Because the moment they know that you're the boss, they will walk away from you before you even start hitting. You don't even need to do anything.
It's the same thing with bears.
That's what Puppy told me. when I started playing, he's like, you need to assert dominance right away. You gotta throw the first spell right away as soon as you join the lane.
Walk in the lane.
No, but it's very smart. I mean, I've been using it on my own level as well, and it works because people are just gonna...
It's psychology.
Yeah, it is psychology. It's like, okay, they are the stronger lane than me, which might not always be the case. You just happen to have more mangoes or tangos on you.
Well, you might be questioning who's the strongest lane now because you thought it was you.
Yeah.
And now...
That moment of doubt is just... I love this conversation between former NA carry players turned NA offlane, or not NA, and we're offlaners now. So is this carried over as an offlane plane as well? Do you also try to assert dominance now, or what?
I mean, of course, this is the most important thing on lane if you want to win the lanes. Like you gotta show who's the boss right away.
That's why Undying is so good and now banned, because Undying is a hero that does instill fear in people because you're never going to kill him.
There's no such thing as establishing dominance when the other guy's Undying.
Exactly.
Like, you can have it.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
You can't even take the fight. So Undying, just by being Undying, already asserted dominance. That's why you see it banned so much. Just like Enchantress, we're going to find out which other heroes the teams are going to draft instead of the ones they banned, though. We got a Tiny picked up. Are we thinking this Tiny is going to attempt laning a Storm? Is that the plan? Or what's the plan with this Tiny?
Could be a 4.
Could be a 4, actually, yes. And they might go for some Darkseer again.
Oh, yeah,
18.
yeah. They could do that. The first thing I think of when I'm against Tiny is a carry that doesn't mind getting displaced. So I like that they banned the Faceless Void already. That's like the #1 go-to.
Yeah.
The idea being similar to like a punch hook. You get thrown out of position, and you want to be able to reset your hero's positioning. So generally, I don't like ranged heroes as carries against Tiny, so I'm wondering what Team Spirit elects to go for. They might want to see more information since they don't see where this Timbersaw is going just yet, even though it's likely to be mid since it won last game against.
They might go for Betrider again.
Yeah, it was banned last game and still in the pool here.
Yeah.
4 ranged.
It's just very good against these heroes, against Timber as well.
I like that with that Tiny pick. Again, I feel like they've secured the sort of mid roam again, because if you go over there, you're dealing with, this Tiny and like techies that can just toss you around, can pretty much kill anyone. And so, especially before level 6, that Storm has to be careful. Again, that last game doesn't repeat itself.
I like this pick a bit more just because I think Bat would have been better as an individual hero, but as a lineup, I feel like they needed a guy to rotate to, and Bat Rider generally likes to push out the lanes and rotate to you. And I feel like they already had a bunch of those. Like, Ruby pushed out the lane, Storm pushed out the lane, and then rotates. So they needed a guy that's willing to just sit in an area and just, like, allow his team to... It just makes everything simpler. It simplifies the map, I think.
I think Terrorblade is a good pickup for Tundra here.
That is nice.
Just for the laning, you steal the aura from the Beastmaster, you have a really good win condition. And also it leaves the Timber open for the offlane as well. I don't know if 33 plays it, but still it's good to leave it open, just because you can have a last pick that you can counter pick either the Storm or the carry here that Team Spear is gonna choose.
Does 33 play Timbersaw?
How do you guys feel about like a Jug or something here as carry players? Would you
I don't love it against Beastmaster all that much, but I think the problem with Beast, I suffered against this hero for a really long time, by the way, is that all of his matchups that are bad on Dota buff, on paper, are bad lane matchups. Like, what that's basically saying is this hero gets off to a good start, you lose, the hero gets shut down, not so much. So, you mentioned Terrorblade, it's really good in lane. Slark, it's like a similar idea where they're wanting to punish this Beastmaster. They don't really have a way to like peel you off of him right now. Like Rubik Lift is okay, but it's very long cooldown. It feels really bad to use just to throw him away from the Beastmaster. You have the Dispel from your Dark Pact. The Tiny, I think, is looking much better as a 4 now with the Slark pick, because you have a offlaner in the Timbersaw potentially that can be left alone level 3 or 4, and Slark is a very good kill safe lane, and often if Slark gets that advantage over Beastmaster with like 1 or 2 kills, the whole threat of what Beastmaster does, where he applies pressure on the lane, he makes like Tundra have to either evacuate that area or bring like 3 or 4 heroes, no longer exists anymore.
Yeah, you just kind of have to play on the stacks and just be passive and farm your slots on the Ancients.
It's still like you can still win doing that, it just doesn't feel nearly as strong.
Yeah, of course, because you give the enemy carry its free farm, and it doesn't feel good to do that ever.
With the Bloodseeker Void bans also.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
One interesting thing for some of these heroes that even like Timbersaw, but also Beastmaster, is the trees are like really annoying at a lot of parts of the map. So I feel like one of these Beastmaster benefits where just randomly like start cutting down trees, whatever, in addition to the vision that the hero already gives, is just like hugely beneficial. It just makes it feel a lot better when you're chasing someone, when you're about to take an engagement.
Yeah. Less places to hide, which is especially in the current map, very good.
Which Slark loves to do.
I love the Darkseer ban as well. They have a really good lineup for the Darkseer this game. They have 3 melee heroes already. Good laning partner with Tiny, Slark, and Joyce being shelled and surged as well. Oh, and the Broodmother ban. I think they're gonna go for something like Visage on Tundra. I get that feeling.
The bat we talked about earlier is still in the pool, so could we see 33 maybe go for it this game?
Yeah, it's not as powerful as it used to be with the Vanguard into Octarine build, but it's still like super nice.
Well, it's going to be Team Spirit first, selecting a hero for Yatoro. There's quite a few carries still in the pool. Naga Siren, Juggernaut removed. Any that come to mind, Brian, for ones that you'd like to play?
I'm thinking like matchups against Slark. You usually do like illusion heroes, like Naga PL, but Naga's already got banned out. They even elected to ban it when they see a Timbersaw on the enemy team, so that's kind of like how much Tundra respects how bad of a matchup that is. I wouldn't mind like a Yatoro PL right here. I really wouldn't mind it. They banned out Darkseer already.
Should be, yeah.
That sounds nice to have a PL in this game.
Gives you the win condition. You'd be a greedy lineup, but even if Beastmaster's playing a bit chill, I think your 2 supports plus mid have some playmaking potential. You are the win condition of this game 100% on PL. You're a carry that doesn't mind getting tossed. Like, it's very difficult to shove you out of position.
And the Terrorblade is off the table.
I don't like it against Slark very much.
Okay.
I think it's still nice. It just gives them very clear win condition of like pushing lineup with Beastmaster and Terrorblade, just get all the objectives.
Oh!
Wow. That's an interesting one.
I absolutely think that hero's garbage.
Oh. In this particular lineup, what would be their logic? Like, why is it garbage and why?
So what happens is every time I pick Ricky, I think this hero's sick. Like, I'm going to have a good lane. I'm going to buy an early defusal. And then what ended up happening, Jenkins could attest to this, is I lost my lane and bought a Midas. So last time I saw a Ricky carry, it was in the Bali Major, and I said, man, whenever I play this hero, I lose my lane and buy a Midas. I kid you not. At 12 minutes, he was the lowest net worth core in the game. He had a Midas queued up. So that is exactly what we're going to see here.
But does he win with the Midas?
But he's... No, of course not. This hero's a hunt and kill hero. Like, everything buffed about him is level 6, go kill people.
If it's a hunt and kill hero, like, the only one you can hunt and kill in this game seems to be techies.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you are really good against Slark because the cloud is really annoying for you. You can't pact it off. But what, like, I have a problem with is you don't see your laning opponent when you pick this Ricky. Like, you don't know, like, if you're like counterpicking Mars or something, then that is a different story. But Underlord should absolutely free farm this lane. And then I'm telling you, Team Spirit, like, they just shot themselves in the foot with his last pick. I absolutely hate it.
Okay, so Brian thinks this is gonna be a tie. What do you think, Rizzo?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tie as well. I mean, I would prefer to have 33 on Bounty Hunter this game because it absolutely crushes the Ricky as well on the lane. But, Underlord is still very nice. You have a lot of auras, you have very tanky heroes, and Ricky is not particularly good against most of them. I mean, I'd say he's good against Slark and Takis, but other than that, I don't know why he's picked here. So I'd prefer, having PL or Terrorblade here, but, we'll see. Maybe he has some something up their sleeves.
I feel like there's a lot of heroes that could crush the Riki, and then that's another reason to pick an illusion hero there, because I feel like it might limit the offlane pool a little bit. But this Riki is just like, here, take whatever you want.
Yeah.
So it could be kind of rough. Well, Brian, question is, you think there's going to be a Midas this
There's going to be a Midas, 100%. Don't you guys worry.
I respect that you played it and you saw it being played, but were any of those played by Yatoro?
The Riki? No, it was not. So he's got.
If anyone can make it work, wouldn't
this
it be
guy, one TI,
with the most carries played over a TI ever?
I don't think any of those were Riki, but I'm down.
They're like 13 heroes.
It was like 19 or 20.
Yeah, you don't think any of them were Riki?
We'll have to fact check between the games.
Actually, maybe not, because Riki at that point wasn't really played as a carry.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on the Underlord, by the way, because of course that was the last pick coming out from Tundra. Do we like this one?
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
It fills the last gap in their lineup. I guess there's a little bit of lockdown. You can go get those auras, take those objectives early. I think it cinches their lineup pretty well. And you have the root for the Riki as well.
Yeah, and I feel like they also maybe plugged some holes from the lack of team fight they had in game number 1. Now they can actually go toe-to-toe in the fights. We're going to find out how many of those fights there are and who takes game number 2 as we head over to OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Shiva, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2, Tundra versus Team Spirit. Fogged, what do you make of some of the final picks we have from the panel? Riki coming in for Yatoro. They don't seem very hopeful about it. Would you sort of agree this is one of those last picks that you're like, surely there was something else?
Yeah, versus Slark. I'm trying to think about it. Versus Slark, it's one of like the better carry hero matchups in a vacuum. It just, that's not the way Dota is, right? So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to be impressed. I like the other 4 heroes. I think that's going to be the thing I'm mostly going to be looking at for Spirit to do to make space and timings to get Yatoro his defusal. If he's able to get that defusal, I mean, maybe. Just being able to, like, snipe some of these... Snipe this Slark and just be really annoying with Cloud, but... I don't know. This is a weird one.
Oh, it's going to be exciting to see. Exciting to see if you can make it work.
I mean, the other 4 heroes are fantastic. That's the one thing. Like, they have Beastmaster, they have Storm with the Pugna, they have a Rubik, which is pretty comfortable, and they have a Rubik, and they picked Underlord into the Rubik. So I'm going to be looking at Mira to get, like, Firestorm steals, how much he's going to be able to do, because Firestorm is amazing this game, right? Versus Timber, versus pretty much everything. It's going to be great. So I'm going to be focusing on that instead of just harping on the Riki the entire time, but then we're going to have to go look back and see how he does do and how he's going to recover versus the tanky heroes that will come out from Timber and Timber.
I mean, how should his lane be in terms of the setup? Like, is he going to have a decent lane?
It's versus double melee, and he's got a Pugna, so in theory, he definitely gets some farm. I just haven't seen this hero really play too much in this type of position. I just think if it was Underlord and a ranged hero, I would be a little more concerned, but the fact that he's a tiny, I actually think Yatoro might just be able to farm. He's got great base damage, he's going to be able to get charges and stuff, and he's just got Pugna. I think Pugna is the one that can just make the difference down here, just with all the harass and trade. But that being said, I think 33 is just going to free farm too, but we'll see how it all goes down.
Yeah, and talking about the tiny as well, what do you think sort of was the reason why Tundra wanted to bring this back in for Saxa this game?
That's a really good question. Maybe it's something versus the Pugna that they were seeing, because you have multiple different disables and your Avalanche can cover an area where the Pugna's kind of like going for this type of stuff. Not sure. It's that, or they're looking for like early pressure with movements or flexing heroes. Because we did see the Timber, the Tiny, we saw the Storm, so there's potential for them to move the Timber off lane, the Tiny mid, etc. But I think just, yeah, mostly just like going to be trying to stop mid Pushka with multiple different disables from getting any drains and heals. Let's see how mid goes, right? Because 9 last game, he did kind of own the matchup. He had like, what, 11 denies or something pre-level 6, so he was able to get that timing and take the tower. But then Laurel owned the overall game state, so we'll have to see what ends up happening this time. If Laurel has a better matchup overall, better actual lane, pop off again. Go.
Trying to go for him here, Saxon 33, and they're going to have him. First blood to go to 33 down in the bottom lane.
That was... he played so far up, he just got Blood Grenade. I guess because they didn't have the stun on the Tiny, he went for this one. Just gets Blood Grenade. You're very fragile on Pugna if you play that far up. Punished. Riki's still farming, though.
Yes, it's all right. 7 and 2 down there, 33, 8 for 0. They're both getting similar amounts of farm from that bottom lane. Top lane, I mean, how's things going to be going for Skeeter here with the back of his snaking? Is he going to be okay, or is he going to be feeling some pressure from Collapse and Mirror?
And there's going to be a decent amount of spam that's coming up, but I'm just looking at the regen and stuff like that. And Snake's got more than prep, so I think Skeeter should be able to sustain through this.
Snaking.
Snakey could be in trouble, though. 9
for this one.
10 stick.
The lift up, but into snaking. It's going to be perfectly fine. Skeeter's been able to build up a fair bit of essence shift there with the right clicks. Collapse will manage to get the deny on the ball.
At least they got the board. It's a deny, but it's dead. So it's like, you know, he doesn't have that for the lane to build up the pressure onto Skeeter, so Skeeter's definitely happy. And the lane setups, they have the... I always want to talk about this versus like the techies and Rubik thing, because you want to lane this Rubik versus techies always, because you have this lift, of course, to stop the blast off in laning phase and for later on. 33, he got the first blood, right? So yeah, that hurts, to be honest, because now it's like you're not pushing him out of no chance. You probably weren't able to anyway, but...
Saxa.
They might be able to get Saxa, though.
Looks like he's going to be okay, unless Shatura can find a way to jump in upon him. 33, sort of standing there as this wall, punching back at both Shatura and Miposhka as they try and push forward towards the Tiny.
Now that 33's got some levels, this is where the Riki is... The last hitting, at least, is going to be a little bit more difficult because that base damage coming in from Atrophy and everything, too. Reduced damage on Riki. Underlord has like 15 or more damage on top of him.
Yeah, hard to CS and hard to get aggressive on towards the Underlord.
But he's getting the farm, you know, you gotta be honest, Yotaro. It doesn't, you know, BSJ, listening. I don't think we're gonna get a minus this time from him. Let's see if what he's going to do with this defusal timing. That should still be pretty decent.
Yeah, because I imagine the game plan is when you run the Riki carry, that as soon as you have that defusal, right, you're full on hunt mode, right? You're looking for kills.
Oh yeah, you're hunting. You're going to like the Slark. You're setting up for him. Saxa, Miposhka might just be able to chase him out with the move speed. So low.
He's going to look for the deny, and he'll find it. Not quite enough damage there from that blast on its own. Saxa able to deny to neutrals.
He's able to distance himself. Waterrune though, getting claimed and taken away. 9.
Well, try with a bit of setup. Give him a Miposhka to back up. Not enough damage to burst through the timber at this stage. They'll get him low.
Good harass though. He's gonna have to get a refill, which he will get from that death from earlier. But Laurel having an infinitely better time. 31-1. There's actually only one deny this time around on 9. So.
Top lane Skeeter. He's got the 1 charges. Okay, perhaps we're still on cooldown, but 1 to the availability for him.
They're out of regen up there, though. He has raindrop to at least tank through some of these spells, but they are very low. Now Skeeter has to be a bit careful, but he's finding pretty much the same farm as the Riki.
A super close start, really.
Yep.
Outside of just that first blood falling into hands at 33, it's looking very, very even everywhere on the map.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the Riki's going to be able to get if he does get a game, and what he's going to be able to do. Because, as we said, you know, on paper versus this Slarkin versus Timber, it can be a bit annoying. Just, is it actually going to end up working out?
I mean, if Shatura does get that good diffusal blade timing, starts to get the lead, is this a game where a Riki can become rather out of control, or will Tundra always have measures to be able to trap and blow the Riki up?
They'll have a good amount of measures, but he can snipe and always be very pesky for the Slark. So he could make Skitter have just a horrible game if he just plays on top of the smokescreen and stuff like that, and they get the pickups themselves. And they have a lot of vision. That's the one thing I do want to mention. Even though Tundra, they have this night vision that's going to be beneficial from Slark. Looking at Spirits, the way they can move around the map, it's like Ricky's going to be scouting. They're going to have Hawk and stuff like that, and they'll have Storm to jump and catch. So they do have good ways to get on some of these heroes and get information. Power Rune, what's it going to be?
Vortex here to control him, and indeed Lal will be able to grab that into the bottle. It's the Illusion Rune. 9 turns to Chakra, and they've got the combo of Saxa, but not enough to take down Lal.
Big deal, though. 9, again, not going to be getting that fill up. He's constantly getting pressured. Gonna get the D-ward.
Really good opening for Saw. Making. Coming in for the gank on towards Mira, and indeed with the 2 supports ready to help out. 9 will manage to take Mira down.
Good kill.
That means Skeeter left on his own, not having the funnest of times against Collapse. Collapse very easily able to bully the Slark away from the wave. Nice micro here with the balls, just consistently staying on top of Skeeter.
Both of these safe laners are not in the happiest position, I would say. They're not miserable, but they're not really super happy with kind of the situation that they're put in. They're not really, I mean, Bricky in particular is not a hero that farms. He doesn't just farm, he wants to farm off kills. So we'll have to see how much he's able to get. Yeah, both just getting slowed down from the pressure that's coming up from the offlaners.
Collapse got a nice wave coming in from up top as well.
Yeah.
So farming very nicely on that top lane.
important is his timings. He's gonna have this game. We actually do have natural push that comes in from the lineups, unlike last game where it's just like about dictating who wins the fights. Got him.
Some of a bit of action onto Yatoro, but he's a tough target to kill when Posh goes around. Sure, they have that initial burst, but the fires there and no further right clicks come through. Yatoro's out.
He's all good. I think he fed him. Did he feed him a healing Lotus? I think I heard there too. Maybe a decrypt Lotus or something like that. Push. 33, 6. He's not commencing it. You see his skill build. A little unorthodox, of course, from the Underlord. It's a 1-1-3 build, more focused on lasting in lanes, but wants the pit, and they're making a move top.
Let's see if they can catch him. Skeeter starting to begin the attempt. They put the pit. The mine thrown down onto Collapse as well, but backup's coming in. Mira. As well as Poshka ready to turn things. Lyle, he's in with the zip. He's closing the gap onto Skeeter. They get the drag back. They take Skeeter down, and Lyle, he's still got mana to play for more. Zipson takes out Snake King.
Oh,
33. I mean, he's lucky to get out in the last few seconds of that portal being set down. But losing the two of them there, I mean, Tundra already, and so there's 8 minutes, that first move, starting to run into some of the same issues that they were having in that game one. They look for the plays, they look for the fights. Team Spirit, they're just ready for it.
And Beastmaster's going to be able to force towers a lot easier than something like the Underlord. Yeah, has his timing here for the Helm already. And we saw there, Mira, I think that lift was literally instant, right? The blast off was not even like, he didn't even lift up. He got the lift onto him almost immediately there. They get the full counter engage there. Spirit, I mean, both games, the macro play was fantastic.
I mean, this it sort of just adds the team that's going up against this. It's just got to be really tough, right? The fact that you're having this struggle in game one, and now in game two, it's a close start, but that first coordinated move you make, Spirit showing that they're not skipping a beat. Once again, coming into this game too after that very, very impressive game one performance.
And Yatoro, he's gonna have I mean, he might die here actually first, but he should have a pretty good timing overall on his defusal.
Still alive. He's able to jump over to the creep.
No way.
He's going to be off the mark. Yatoro, he'll walk away alive.
Oh my goodness. Actually able to sneak himself. I thought he was dead for sure there. Chakram off the mark at the end, and now they're gonna lose Soxa for it.
Mira. Get caught either. So Nine's not able to find him. Indeed, Saxa left behind on the high ground. Yeah, just continued movements that Tundra are attempting to go for. And Spirit just coming up, coming out of them on top every time.
Not killing Yatoro, he's having just a little bit better game than that Slark. The Beastmaster's having a good game. Storm's having that good game too. A recovery for Skitter might be a bit slow here this game. He's gonna have to, of course, play versus that matchup of the Ricky once he starts getting Cloud and hunting him. Spirit, so far, pretty good for these first 10 minutes. And I think for the most part, from what I've seen Spirit, they tend to go like 1-1 a lot. Mira, he's gonna get chased down here.
He's tried to stick around the power rune to mess with Nine being able to grab it, but wasn't able to stop him. Nine's able to follow up the double damage, chases down Mira, gets the kill, and also able to take away a bit of a stack.
And Yatoro, he's also just, honestly, he's able to get a ton of farm bottom. The push is happening, but he gets every last hit on the tower. So that's almost a defusal done.
Radiant's middle tower
And what sort of the kill combo that the Spirit have? Like, who's Yatoro teaming up with? Is he just joining sort of like a full five-man plays from Spirit, or is he going around with just +1?
They can set up with +1s all over the place. Like either Beastmaster Storm or even the Rubik. He provides a lot of damage when he has defusal. Laurel.
On the mana. Saxa is able to set up with the combo. Lyle, he's still got just enough to play forward aggressively to look for Saxa. Saxa's able to hide in the trees. Saxa still alive. Lyle will die. Finally, Saxa falls to the blast of Miposhka. So 2 for 1. Nine trying to see if he can pick up more here for the favor of Tundra. He's going to go for Miposhka, but indeed Miposhka heal it up.
Oh, and he says thank you for the full mana.
Yeah, Nine's out of there. He does not want to stay anywhere close towards this Pugna any longer.
The dream really for Pugna in that situation. Level 7 now, Miposhka. He gets 2 of the kills. The dream also just getting filled up like that. It's like sometimes you have to go back just to get mana, but if you're able to be full HP, get that drain off, you can just pump up your teammates. So Yatoro, it's a bit low bottom, straight back up to full. Can continue his lane down here versus Yatoro, or versus 33 apologies.
Smoking up here, 9. As they look towards the mid lane, it's not
the easiest.
Not really easy, yeah, already kind of the focus being towards the bottom.
Kind of how snaking has to play here, sneaking with smokes to get situations.
Poshka is healing up, this time not quite fast enough. They've got the damage to take him down through the sustain. Yatoro is going to attempt the chase. They'll set down the portal to get the 2 of them out of there. Saxa, oh, he's not going to make it. Yatoro
Mid lane.
Takes him out with that last attack. 9. He's going to be covered by Snake King with the jump forward, but it's not enough to keep him safe. Both him and Snake King taken out. 3 dead on Tundra. As again, Spirit.
They're going for more.
They certainly are. Yatoro, he's been able to swing across from the bottom lane. Lal in with the setup. This time round, no way for 33 to escape as Spirit take down a 4th.
And Diffusal's done already, and besides just versus the Slark, look at how much effect it can have versus something like Underlord. Sure, he's got mana boots, but the little bit of mana burn, it's annoying. Yatoro getting himself involved, and now they get a tower push here too with this Beastmaster. Big kills for Team Spirit.
Absolutely, really looking good again here from them in this game too. Spirit playing very nicely today.
That was a crazy whole thing that happened in the mid lane too. They put so much emphasis to killing 9, and it ends up actually working. Even though I think Snake got like a 2 or 3 man blast off, they end up still persisting forward and getting these kills.
Yeah. And you feel what if the Spirit can keep this sort of lead up right now, that by the time Skitty gets his items so that he's prepared to turn up to the fight with, they'll have ways to deal with the Slark. Like this Slark is unlikely to be that scary. I mean, it's a lot of catching up to do. You see Skeeter at the moment sitting at the bottom of the core net worth.
And it's a lot of burst damage he's going to have to deal with too. And they will have, in a lot of situations, they'll have vision. If they just get the cloud on top of him, they get any disable, he's 100% dead if they get that type of grab. So yeah, it could be difficult for Skeeter to recover.
Sure. And Jay, she said, well, just the AoE damage as well, right? Even if he does get the Shadow Dance off, they can still finish him off through it. And top lane, see how low that just the 2 of them bring Skeeter down. He's going to have to put the Shadow Dance to try and go from here. Nearly dies to the Stolen Timber Chain there. As Skeeter, he's got to back off from this and heal up.
Barely able to survive versus all this.
That was just what
another
heroes. And he's in beyond the tower. Yatoro closing the gap to Saxa.
Support coming in.
He's going to be back up. Yatoro won't be able to quite kill Saxa off. Saxa able to turn, tickles him with the avalanche. Back up coming in as they look towards Yatoro. They'll catch him in the pounds. And this time, Yatoro getting a little too aggressive. With the strength that he felt that he had with that Diffusal, diving beyond the tier 2. Tundra, they very easily respond to that one, and they'll claim the life of the Riki.
And it's nice that they have Fiend's Gate too, so they don't have to, it's a commitment with a lot of heroes, but he's immediately back toward bottom, so can continue that move. And yeah, Yatoro gets punished. But this is a playstyle you have to do as Riki. You cannot farm on this hero. You need to go for these type of fights and just going for these kind of crazy kills. If they don't get it on Skitter, it's going to hurt Yatoro. Skitter able to get some recovery.
A well-needed move there from Tundra.
Yep.
Cannot allow Spirit to get away with those sort of plays.
Wisdom Rune, Mira isn't able to get it, and he gets the lead.
Another kill for 9. Closing in on getting his Kaya Sanj completed, so we'll still have decent damage to throw out.
Yeah. They're still super strong. The Reeves are almost finished on 33 also too, so these auras will start coming into play versus the Riki. A lot of damage mitigation. Oh, that was a lot of bounties. 4 bounties now going toward the way of Spirit. Quite a bit of a gold shift there. Yatoro.
And they're back on the hunt for Skeeter.
Not the one there, Skitter.
Trying with the setup. Shadow Dance is there. Skeeter back into the tier 2. They've still got mana to chase him though. He's going to need TPs here, Skeeter. And he will get them. Saxa, he's in. And has the Avalanche to hold the 3 of them back. They could turn for him instead though. In fact, with the Roar, they'll certainly find a very easy kill. Over in the mid, Detroit tries to Snake King. Did not have enough damage to finish him off. Snake King still alive. Will survive as 9 comes in to back him up and force Yatoro out of the mid.
Super close. Almost actually ends up finishing off the techies. I guess that's the kind of a cool thing is the tricks of the trade versus techies. You can actually focus him without getting.
He's actually going to be able to go back in.
9.
Because 9, he's stuck around. He's very low on mana. The drag back's there from Lar with the Vortex. Maposhka and Yatoro chase him down. He's got enough mana for a very long Timber Chain up to the high ground. Skeeter also able to pounce up there. I mean, that a fantastic chain there from 9.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, and he gets caught out, taken down, but able to just reach up and pull himself up to the high ground and pretty much max distance.
Collapse though during this time. Full tier 2 gets dropped down quickly. Did I miss it? Did they not use Glyph? I didn't get to see. I think I missed it, but I don't know if they used it either way. It dies. Big move from Collapse, taking that pressure. Sure, they don't get the best situation in mid, but yeah, gold. 2K lead now. And Spirit all comfortably playing around each other. Firestorm has been taken. Right, best spell that he can steal.
I mean, something else to just throw at the Slark, throw at Skeeter if Skeeter tries to get involved.
Oh, they're just gonna go Roche. I mean, Firestorm, it doesn't do as much as the ridiculous era of Firestorm just killing Roche by itself, but this is more than enough to be able to enable, and Riki kills Roche quick.
Yeah, they had enough with last game, you know, this Tundra getting 4 Roche Shans back to back. Spirit they want to have a look at the Roshan a bit. And at this point of the game, with the heroes Tundra have, they know the chances that Tundra would look to try and contest this is pretty low. So it should be a pretty safe approach for Spirit here. As Aegis goes into the hands of Lal.
That's big. I mean, Laurel having it. They even do see bottom set up right now, so perhaps they're going to look for a play themselves on Spirit. They're going to be able to find the Hawk. It gets scouted, so Tundra, they know this is coming from south. They have a blink now on themselves, who Tundra sucks. So he's not near the fight bottom, but now he's TPing. Okay.
He's had some good moves so far with the Avalanche, keeping his team safe.
He doesn't have it on him, though. The blink's coming on Courier. Laurel's hunting.
Lal, he's going to go straight towards Saxa. In fact, Saxa's able to turn at the Avalanche. Skeeter jumps in, he gets burst incredibly low. He's got to be careful. In fact, he might just... Goodness, nearly dies. Manages to get up to the high ground. He'll get away, but 33 and snaking, they're gone. And Spirit, they're not going to stop this chase. They're going to go on beyond the tier 1 tower. Saxa jumps in with the Blink Dagger reveal, gets the jump on him at Miposhka, but it isn't enough burst to immediately kill him off. 9 will manage to swing by with the Timber Chains and take Miposhka down. Yatora gets back in, helps them take down Saxa.
Gets away.
Yatori's already got the smoke screen out. Lal, he jumps back in aggressively over towards the 9. 9, he goes back in for him, but that's going to go back into his death 9. As 9 tries to turn to threaten at least the Storm Spirit, but he does not get away with it. He's gone. Snake King's gone as Mira gets the cleanup. They take another tier 1 tower. I mean, Skeeter, he's still looking for Lal here.
Skeeter?
I mean, he's going to try.
Skeeter?
He's in with the jump, but Yatora reveals himself. He gets the kill, but it costs him his life. A big cleanup for Mira, who takes a triple.
Oh,
I don't know if that was worth going back in for.
I don't think they knew that Firestorm wasn't theirs. Mira rained it down on top of them.
So much damage.
He did the most. He did the most by far in the fight.
Skeeter nearly died at the start of it.
Yep.
You know, trying to fight through a Shadow Dance. You're taking so much damage through the ultimate just because of how much AoE was just getting pounded down upon him from Spirit.
I mean, Mira with, godly. He had the Firestorm from the previous fight, stole Remote Mine, set a couple up, got some spell up, and then he steals Shock, or Wardling Death at the end and gets the cleanup as well.
I mean, look at this from Yatora as well. He's just immediately up to this top half of the map.
Oh, yeah.
He knows that somebody's going to be up here. Saxa hiding in the trees.
They're running away a bit now.
Should be deep enough to stay safe, is Saxa. See if he reveals himself, though. They're very close to one another. And Yatora won't quite find him. Well, maybe he will.
Maybe he will.
Actually, he will.
He actually showed.
He sticks around Yatora. He catches him out. He goes straight for the TP. Ooh. And he will make it out. Goodness, that was as close as he gets there. Saxa will live.
Saxa does live, but I mean, a huge hit Spirit. They're looking for the fight again. Everything's back up at the ready. They've gotten so much momentum after that last team fight. And again, look what Spalmira has. He stole it right before the fight starts. He's got Firestorm at the ready.
It's so much,
it destroys.
It's just a nightmare for Slark,
Slark, even Timber, all three cores really don't want to play versus the Slark. Laurel, hunting.
Pretty deep for this one. For 9, and we'll find him, get the opening. Actually, it's quite a bit of mana for this one, but Miposhka turns up. Miposhka, he'll actually get burst from 9. 9 able to quickly tap the chakra, but the roar's there. Onto 9, they jump forward, but indeed the heals come through. 9's able to survive. They've taken Miposhka, can they get more? Lal, out of mana, so he'll have to reset for now. See Tundra focus towards Mira, they'll chase down the Rubik. This time they'll kill him off. Yatora's going to look to try and finish off 9. 9 healing up and down to the low ground with the Timber Chain. He's away, turns, lands the chakra, gets the slow off onto Yatora, sets up a Saxon, coming with the Avalanche. 9, he gets back in with the chain, takes the kill, and walks out alive.
Huge. Distances himself toward his team. The pull doesn't come out instantly. I believe Firestorm doesn't connect perfectly either. Tundra. This time striking back.
Yeah, I mean, some good moves from 9.
Great things for 33 to the Greaves. I think that actually saves it.
It did.
Right there.
Coming in just at the time that was necessary to enable that fight to fall back in favor of Tundra. I mean, Spirit, they may still have the lead. This time round, this game too, Tundra showing that they've got a much better chance of responding to these team fights and having these cores, have the Timber Sword such that, if the right spells don't fall into place coming out from kind of Mira with the steals that they're able to get, these heroes are still very tough to kill, especially this Timber with the farm that 9's got.
Yeah, and if Snake, I mean, I think Snake also too, like taser stuff, it's gonna have to always be something they have to think about too. Is if you don't kill him like immediately, it's gonna disarm. You don't have this continuous damage, so. Tundra. Looks like Tormentor might be the next choice for them. And let's see what the difference of Greaves versus like a Helm of Helm of the Overlord is going to be. We do have like different types of auras, of course, on both sides here. That is not the one they wanted. That is unfortunate. Probably the most useless shard.
I guess when you're playing the old support Tiny, yeah, not a very exciting one for Zax to have.
And the thing is, too, it's like if the techies gets it, I actually think Snakings is amazing this game. It's so good just to be able to throw Taser onto these people. Could make the difference in a lot of these type of situations versus the Ricky and Storm. Arcane Rune is not going to be able to steal it. He will. Does pop the BKB, though.
I was very scared there. I guess just didn't want to get kind of roared into a full magic combo from Lyle.
Top. Stay on the hunt.
Some nice little picks here on whoever shows on their own.
And Collapse actually switches it up a tiny bit. He had the boots to bearing. Now, instead of doing that, he's going to go for pipes. So trying to match a little bit of defensive aura that's coming out from Tundra in these 5v5s. 33, he has the greaves and the pipe now, so a lot more mitigation that's going to be coming into the fights.
Yeah, they're very much ready to take
sure
the fight. Zag's done on Skeeter now, so Tundra, they feel strong.
Yep, Snay has good levels too. Snay's actually level 12, so level 2 mines are online.
Sax are ready with the initiation. Upon anyone he knows the Collapse is here. Jump in under the tower, gets the toss back. Collapse will be able to put the raw. So he can separate himself from them. Skeeter closes the gap here with the axe pounce as Collapse. He's still alive, finally falls. Now the question is if Spirit really want to stick around with this fight. I think they've got to bail. Yatoro splits away from them.
He's pounced.
Maybe they get the connection. It's going to be long enough for them to lock him down. Not quite.
He's out of mana.
As indeed Skeeter's got another pounce up, using the Shadow Dance, get a boost of movement speed to closing upon him. He's down to the low ground, but there's nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Lyle's gone.
What a godly initiation. They just got they got a glimpse of him for like a quick second over there, and they just get that insane toss play from Saxa. Yeah. Super worth it. 2 cores dead.
Now Saxa knows that if he can just kind of get that gap closed between his teammates and the target, get that Beastmaster thrown right into the center of them all. It's a high chance that will set up the team fight for success, and indeed it does. Tundra closing the gap, starting to take the lead, and they'll take the tier 1 top.
And we definitely see how important, even though, highlighting so much about how much Miro was able to do with his stolen spells, we see that Collapse is absolutely the most important hero on the map. Last game, he did some incredible stuff on his Mars. This game, he's really big on this Beastmaster, and he's the thing that kind of brings that whole team spirit lineup together. Without him, you could see that they're just like, wait, we don't really have damage, we don't have ways to control heroes or anything too, so it's kind of just panic from there.
I'll check it again here. Saxa immediately ready to get in. And TP reactions were very, very quick from Spirit, which did give them a bit of a chance to fight back. Of course, nothing could be done to save Collapse.
Heroes are getting tankier and tankier. 9 Octarine now finished, besides having this pipe and Greaves that we mentioned on the Underlord. Damage definitely going to be a bit of an issue here on Spirit, unless they can get the situation where he has Firestorm and they have it just like raining multiple different waves on top of them. Tundra, they are very much so on the hunt. Toro.
With these sort of lines with me. Sax is in. He's going to get the grab onto Mirror. Mirror will manage to get forced away towards the tower, but 9 and Skeeter close in upon him under the tower, take him down. They're ready to go for more here. Spirit, they've got to back away from this tier 2. He's going to get caught in the pit. As he tries to enter here from the high ground. Lyle attempting to jump Saxa. Skeeter's committing him with the Shadow Dance. Yutora is waiting behind him, ready for the ult to finish. Jumps forward. Caught by the pounce. They're focusing the slot. The Dark Pack's there in time. He's away from the Raw. Skeeter, he'll live. He's able to start healing up out of vision of Team Spirit. Yatoro, he has to back away. They are a little low on mana, Tundra, but still tough to get the kills. They'll go for the squishy one, though. Snaking.
Good punish.
Left behind, see if they can turn this into anything more. Spirit, Yatoro and Collapse. They're ready to chase down Lyle. He's refueled, he's ready to close the gap in onto 9, drags him back with a Vortex. 9 pops the BKB, he's looking to try and Timber Chain his way out of there. He's up the high ground. Lyle continues to chase, trying to take him out through this BKB, but 9, he'll be back to the tier 2 and he'll survive.
Oh man, they want the big kill. They could have probably settled just getting one of these supports, but they wanted to get one of these cores. They're still chasing. 33.
They might still find something. 33.
He's tanky.
Able to turn with the pit, hold back the summons.
It's not the one they want to go for.
And it's a bit difficult again under this tier 2, especially when they know that Sax is ready with the jump toss combo on anybody who attempts to dive. Spirit, they'll hold back from chasing for more.
Some big damage issues absolutely coming into play there for Spirit, though.
They do know that Roshan's going to be back up. So
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for them to go for it, though, because Tundra, they're all back up. They're smoked up. Tundra They are well and ready to take any fight that they find. So they're going to be storming straight up towards this top half and look to catch Spirit out.
They're not cooldown reliant at all, so Tundra can just immediately react. They can go toward it. They know this play is happening. Spirit, they're not starting the Roche though. They're looking to set up
Thinking
for the fight.
about it.
This looks like a tough fight for them though. 33 just waltzing in. Tundra. Stay.
Now going to get this jump onto the techies. Raw's there as well. They take a snaking out. He does not have buyback, so no chance for him to rejoin the fight. Astral Scooter comes out over towards Lyle, but Lyle's able to get up to the high ground. Yatori's just going to get burst from 9. 9 pretty much catches him in the full combo. That's Yatoro out for 50. He's not here for the fight. Naposhka.
Hey, they just walk into them.
I mean, he's trying to hide in the pit, but 9, he's got eyes on him. Glimmer Cave's there, no detection on the front line, so Naposhka will be able to juke him.
They're thinking about re-going in here on Spirit, but everyone's still healthy on Tundra.
Yeah, both teams down a hero, but Spirit down the bigger one without their Ricky, without their carry.
Carl, he's gonna try.
Well, they've got it. They've got the catch onto 9. Trying to burst through this Timber Circle. BKB on cooldown for 9. They're bringing him low. Lyle with another jump. Mosquito, he's in with a pounce. Straight on top of Lyle. Lyle's gone. And Spirit, they're now down 2 cores. There's no fight for them to have here anymore. Skeeter, he's ready to continue the cleanup.
They're resetting too. They're gonna go heal up and bring more. Here comes Snaking.
He's back in with his second life. Connection onto Maposhka. The Spirit, they've just got to bail out of this one. Maposhka trying to do his best to survive as long as he can. Another round of the Glimmer Cave. It's only going to mean they're able to turn their attention towards Mirror, get the Rubik. Actually able to save himself on the Pug now. He's out with a TP. Of course, overall that fight massively falling into the favor of Tundra. Saxa, he just sticks around on his own a bit longer than he needed to. Collapsing Yatoro will actually find him on the way back round.
Okay.
Might make things a bit complex for going for the Roshan themselves, Tundra. So Roshan will prevail, will still stand on the map, and both teams will get the chance to get back up as full 5-man and see if they can contest that Roshan pit once more.
I mean, this fight's going to continue. Tundra, they're smoking
straight
again.
back up there.
They don't have any cooldown reliance, as we said. Yatoro has to be very careful with his positioning here.
Both teams down a member. No Rubik for Spirit, no Tiny for Tundra.
I mean, Mira is trying to do as much work as possible. God's work, really, with all this Firestorm steals and whatnot. But Yatoro, he kind of tickles heroes at this point versus this Greaves plus just the aura that's coming up from the Underlord. It's definitely proven to be problematic. The other 2 heroes are doing pretty good. The other 2 cores on Spirit, but Yatoro is definitely running into some issues now.
Has to be careful as well. If he jumps in and gets caught by any sort of disable close to 9 just blows him up in a full combo.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can see the ease of the fights too. Like Tundra, for Team Spirit, it feels like it's like literally like 5D chess. Like they have to make everything work, like pick off heroes, take like these crazy spell casts. For Tundra, 33 can just waltz into the fight. 9 can just waltz into the fight, give all this free information as fight bottom.
In the opening here. Built to the 2 of them. Skeeter looks towards Collapse. Collapse able to get away. They turn over towards Maposhka instead. See if they can chase him out. Lyle's going for the back lines. He's closed in onto Snaking. Snaking will die. Both teams to lose the support. The push forward continues over Skeeter as he's starting to build up. There's Essence Shift stacks. It's going to be another one as they take Mirror out. Yatoro, who he's trying to run, but he's caught in the shack from another pounce throw for Skeeter. They've trapped the Ricky. 3 dead on Spirit. It's Tundra. They're starting to grow this lead, get a little bit out of control as Spirit definitely beginning to have some of the struggles that I believe the panel sort of expected. Trying to fight with this Ricky carry, it doesn't seem to be having nearly the same amount of impact as Skeeter is able to have on the other side here, surviving throughout it all. 9, of course, once again, cleaning up. They just don't seem to have the answers for this Timbersaw. 9 he's not if he's been there already, but getting into this unkillable territory.
All 3 cores feel unkillable. Even Skeeter, who it took him some time to perhaps recover, but
37 stacks from that last fight. Skeeter just able to build it up throughout it all.
He actually does stuff.
Who do you go on if you're Spirit?
The 2 supports, which we saw, they cleared them out, but then
supports.
that's it. They actually cannot focus fire anyone else at that point afterwards. The Slark just get the Slark. The thing is with these fights, with the Slark, he gets stronger and stronger the longer and longer these fights go. For Spirit, their steam, they just run out of steam really quickly. Beastmaster Roar is done, Storm runs out of mana, and Ricky just doesn't have the damage to persist through all this. Now, Aegis is claimed, and Cheese is claimed, and I see Yatoro, yeah, he's pinging the Underlord, and he's probably feeling the frustration of the aura, the pit, like everything in combination. That he is just providing for his team.
I mean, as you say, it really does feel that Spirit's game plan at the moment is kind of kill the supports, and then what?
Yep.
That is definitely the struggle they're running into this game at this point. 22 to 23, but they're down 6k gold. Tundra getting that Roshan secured. Aegis on Skeeter. I don't think Tundra will be scared to take any sort of fight that gets presented to them when there's a full 5.
No, definitely not. They're just way too, 3 cores way too tanky, too many auras, too many things having to be committed from Spirit just to take out the supports. Yeah, long fights. Timber's unkillable, and Slark just ends up literally getting way too many stats stolen that he becomes a huge menace to everybody. For Spirit, Future kind of thinks to bring them back in this game. It's going to be difficult, in particular for Yotoro. I mean, the Aghanims plus the Storm, I guess that's going to be their next big timing. You jump inside the Storm, he tries to just clean up heroes, and you just keep playing like that. So you're not actually playing in the fight, you're playing inside someone, but let's see if that does work. Saksa, he will get picked off. Laurel uses a lot of mana.
Will the BKB TP though? And at this point, there's no answer for that one.
Okay. Nice pick. Getting themselves, some time to finish up this here for Yotoro. He's 400 away from the Ags. Let's see if that'll be a difference maker. Because, he doesn't have to play it in the fight then. He's inside of someone, so he's not actually able to get, focused too much.
It's just still a question if it's going to allow him to get enough damage out.
Sure. I mean, I'm grasping at straws a little bit, but
hard.
Let's see.
It's very hard.
That is the next timing for them in particular that they would be able to fight. And then after that, I guess maybe an Ags on Laurel if he feels like he can go for that. But I mean, I'm seeing him queuing up Shivas, and I don't blame him because of how tanky that these heroes are and how much sustain they do have built in. You do need some type of reduction.
Yeah, they've got to sort of slow down that ramp up of power that Skeeter gets in the fights.
Not easy by any means. Down 9. He'll get this shard. Yeah, 9 has just been a total nuisance. 12 and 2. Just the damage is just not there to bring down these cores. And woo, 4-man Fiend's Gate.
They really want this dragon gone. They want this dragon gone. And 9 will be the one to end up that.
Hey,
54.
They get the Tormentor too, so you know what?
That's true. Map objectives. Best to stop Spirit from being able to get any in their favor.
I believe that is... do they have all of them now? Yep, they've got all 5 shards now. Getting bigger and bigger.
Spirit, what do they do? I mean, as you say, Yotoro's got the Ags, but it really does feel like he needs that damage item on top of it.
He did hit 20, so he does have the backstab multiplier, so a little bit more, but yeah, definitely needs another one, definitely needs that crit at least.
See if he can, should be able to take Saxtra outright, especially with Lala coming in. Not a chance for Saxtra on his own. In lane. And they're trying to hold back 9. Of course, they just have to run. There's no chance of fighting this Timbersaw.
Literally just holding him back. Okay. But getting these pickoffs, small gains, that's how Spirit kind of has to play this one to come back in it. Laurel, as we see, Shiva's and Ags queued, so just waiting to look for their opportunities. Of course, probably waiting at least for the Aegis and Cheese to go down before they look to take a straight on 5v5. And then Poshka playing pretty deep. Snay, he finds it.
Watch this one. So it was hanging around the Wisdom Rune, didn't end up checking it out though. Could have maybe grabbed that for himself. But, TP's back, was a little scared that Tundra could have been heading his way. As Tundra may be ready to try and see what they can do in the form of attempting a high ground push around this Aegis Cheese.
I'll show which one he's going to go for first. It is going to be the Shivas, okay. So he's going to go for that heal negation. I don't blame him, it's good. It's very good this game.
Yeah, just something else that might catch Skeeter off guard, you know, when he pulls low and wants to rely on that big boost of heal to keep him alive for the Shadow Dance.
For sure.
He's in.
Oh my god,
he's going in deep.
He's gone.
All right, he decided he didn't want that Aegis anymore.
A stolen chakram.
As the Aegis is gone.
Tundra on retreat.
I'm going to force out the fortification.
That was I mean, he killed himself. He harpooned himself in there.
And
just
he was going pretty deep for that one.
Whoops. Forced him back to base.
They'll back off and look to deal with the creep waves on the other lanes.
Spirit's going to look to catch them on the retreat here.
It's the time to chase. You know that the team's falling back. There's a chance that they're split up to deal with the multiple waves pushing.
They see Skitter in mid. Dark Pact on cooldown.
Can they blow him up? They're in.
The target.
They get the opening, and they've got him.
Oh,
big catch there from Spirit. Tundra not quite in position to protect Skeeter. 75 seconds, no slug. This is a great opening for a team that was behind. Get some damage done.
That is so. I can't believe he showed himself in mid after that too, and used the dark pack. Like he just set himself up to get caught from this blink lift. Maybe he didn't know that they were going to go for this type of play, but the rest of his team were on full retreat. He showed himself.
I mean, can they try and push out? Obviously, the buyback's not there, but at least Team Spirit may try and push it out if it's potentially there. I mean, it's 50 seconds, no Slark. 2 minutes still to a potential Roche.
I mean, this timing though, it's going to buy Yatoro time to catch back up in gold.
He'll get his Daedalus run.
He might be able to finish it. Yeah.
Okay, still needs about 1,000 gold, but yeah, it's
he'll finish it. The Slark's gonna respawn, he'll have Daedalus, and they can maybe go for another move. That will definitely give them the damage to probably burst these heroes down.
Yeah. I mean, we did see there, at least for the Slark, if Steedo's not able to press his spells, they still kill it.
Yep, and they're getting a lot of pickoffs here. The Hawk Vision is doing wonders for them. Skate.
Coming in on him. Saxa, he's already gone.
He is dead.
Nothing to be done here with the Fiend's Gate. Nobody's going to be coming through that one.
Oh, Laurel does pop a BKB after the fight is done. Does end up wasting that one.
I mean, Maposhka and Mirror, they've got their eyes on Snakey. Won't manage to take him down. Won't go chasing any further.
Spirit.
A good bit of a punchback, sort of a moment where Tundra caught out on a couple of heroes. Skeeter in the mid, Saxa in the bottom lane. Gives Tundra a bit of a shake-up.
Laurel does not have that BKB, so have to be careful.
And a very early BKB there from Skeeter. Pops it at full HP. Was concerned, I guess, after the last engagement where he got blown up so quickly in the mid lane. He just pops it straight away. They will catch Maposhka, put a stop to his TP out. Maybe 9 can set up for more of a chase. They've got their eyes on Mirror.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The creep wave has been cut though, so nothing to push with. All waves pushing in onto Tundra's half of the map, so despite getting the 2 kills onto the supports, won't manage to find an opportunity to look for any high ground objectives during this bit of downtime for the supports of Spirit.
Yatoro is getting pretty scary again now.
Daedalus is on his way, right?
And it's also, we have the neutral items that are going to be coming out soon. Like, his neutral item right now is pretty horrendous, I would say, on Ricky. The Elven Tunic doesn't really provide you too much, so let's see which big one he gets. Let's see what tier 4.
What's the dream one? Penta?
Nice. Spell Prism's pretty nice, too.
Okay, going for the cooldowns.
Yeah, then you just play inside the Storm Spirit a lot of times. You're playing around, just jumping in and out of the fights constantly.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, your cooldowns are going to be really nice to play around.
I mean, this item compared to an Elven Tunic on Ricky is just, there's no comparison, really. In this type of game, especially with the items that he has. Game's still definitely looking at... Like, Tundra in a little bit more of a comfortable position, but Spirit definitely showing ways that they're bringing this game back together for themselves.
I mean, the main thing really is that Skeeter he can't get caught out on his own.
He
can't go alone. If he goes alone and gets killed off, then this game really will open back up into Spirit's favor.
I like that they passed him over a gem, because he has to be wary of this cloud and everything like that. Even if he has BKB, it's just any type of instance.
It's a scary game to play solo as a Slark.
Okay, looks like, I mean, not really an aura, but a pseudo-aura, I like to call it. The Martyr's Plate. I think this is an item that is actually pretty busted. It's just very hard to realize what it does inside a team fight, so I'm going to try to keep track of it.
How much are you able to redirect?
You redirect 20% for 8 seconds. It's a lot.
Yeah. Definitely save some of your team.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching how much you can actually absorb.
See who gets the jump with the smoke.
Firestorm is stolen before the fight.
He's going to try. Start things off here with Saxa. Saxa's in with the avalanche onto Collapse. Fiend's Gate coming in as 33. Big roar and try and catch him from the side, but indeed they focus 33 straight away. 33's getting low. Lar pops the BKB that's still trying to finish 33 off, but he's going to get healed up by the Death Shroud. The safety's there for him to back off. Didn't even fall as of yet.
Snaking.
He's still rather low. Lyle also out of mana. Saxa's in with the combo. He's able to throw Lyle back up towards 33. Lyle tries for one more vortex to drag by 33, but 33's back up to full HP. Lyle, he's out of mana. Will manage to dodge the first bounce from Skeeter, but with no further way to get out, Lyle falls.
Things are getting a little awkward right now. Spirit don't know where to go. The 2 supports are caught.
Poshka hiding in the pit. He'll manage to slide out of there, but the pit's back up for 33. They'll catch him. A little bit of a life drain. Not enough to save him.
Snaking. He's baiting Yatoro a little bit.
We'll be able to dodge the avalanche. He's popped here for 9. He wants to continue to chase up towards the Ricky. Yatoro trying to jump back over to the safety of Collapse. It's 9. Attempts to stay on top of him, but Collapse has got the roar back up. Down onto 9. Double buyback.
Doubles.
From Spirit.
They want to go for this fight here.
They don't want to allow Yatoro to die. They know that if they can enable the Ricky in this fight, Yatoro can kill.
No techies for 70 too. Like Snaking bought back and pretty much insta-died. Roar on cooldown for 20 seconds.
See what Tundra want to do here. 4 versus 5.
Full Hex on 33 also was just picked up.
I mean, if they can cause these buybacks from Spirit to not find anything in Spirit's favor, then I'd be rather happy. Doesn't mean they'll get rushed.
Yeah, they're going to probably force the rush, and Tundra's going to have to react to that. They're smoked and looking for a positioning here.
It's a risky fight, but a big fight. If they can stop Spirit from getting Roshan after using these buybacks, specifically that one on Lal, this would be a big win for Tundra.
9-6.
Starts things off with the jump on a collapse, starts to bully back the two of them. Skeeter's in as well on a collapse. Collapse able to get back in the pit, turns the Raw on to 9. Skeeter jumping across, won't find a connection this time with the pounce. Yatori is attempting to go for Saxa on the back lines. Yatori sneaking up to the high ground. Lal pots the BKB, continues to stay focused in on towards trying to get the pullback with the Vortex on the Saxa, but it's not enough damage to kill Saxa. Saxa, he's going to be fine. Up to the high ground he goes. They get the Hex on towards Yatoro. Avalanche from Saxa as he's back in. The Mantis pop with the pounce is there. They trap the Ricky. Yatoro stuck in the pit. Finally able to blink stride back to safety with the tree from Saxa. Chases him down. 9 closes in the Vortex and then hold him back with the burst damage. Takes Yatoro out. He'll buy back immediately.
Oh my god.
9's getting low, but the BKB's up. From 33 holds Lal and Mirror up on the high ground. Stolen Timber Chain here from Mirror as he tried to get back close to 9. 9 still low, but he's out with the blink. Saxa jumps back in. He'll die, but he gets the combo set up to take down Maposhka.
They're resetting. Fiend's Gate's up.
Smoke screen. Missing on a Skeeter. He's caught by the Vortex, Lal. He's bursting low, but the Hex is back up. They managed to Hex Yatoro. Stops him with the physical damage output from this Ricky. Yatoro trying to sneak away from the Roars. Back up for Collapse. They've taken Yatoro down. No, they take a Skeeter down. Yatoro, he's still alive, but they're losing their teammates. It's just down to Yatoro and Collapse. As Yatoro, he's attempting the cleanup, but again gets caught by the Hex. Naked turns around with the jump. Saxa's got the combo. 4 dead, 5 dead on Spirit. As Tundra, they'll take the fight. Buybacks used across the board there. They're not even going to bother for Roshan. They're going to go by the looks of it straight for the push, maybe. Are they going to grab the creep raise? They'll take Roche. I mean, this is a huge window. Everybody dead.
Everybody dead.
No buybacks. They'll take the luxury of the Roshan, but you can imagine after this pickup, they're going to be going straight down these lanes. Still tier 2s available in 2 of the lanes, so it'll only be the bottom one that's available.
This fight looked again like the past fights that Spirit was having with Tundra. These 3 tanky heroes, they're just waltzing around. I think Skitter had, what, 50-something essence shift stacks at how long this fight. It was like a 2-minute long fight, and he's hitting people, and the 3 cores are able to just
I think we saw sort of 3 roars from Collapse at least through how long that sort of back and forth went, and yeah, just there being able to take down Skeeter. Immediate buyback. Skeeter knows, you know, at this point they're just running out of steam. Spirit, they've only got so many more lives that they could throw into the action, and now they're ready to end it. Or at least try to. No buybacks here, with as much as Spirit invested in that fight around the Roshan pit.
99 has been an absolute beast.
That's another kill. Straight up towards the fountain. Maposhka's gone. 10 seconds, they'll have the Rubik back in play, but that'll be it. There's going to be no one else to help hold back this push from Tundra. As GG is called, Tundra will take this game too.
All right. I mean, for the most part, Tundra absolutely pretty much all this game leading. But Spirit definitely showing some prowess in it. You know, I don't want to blame the Ricky too much. It definitely had some issues in the game, but I think it did better than most of us had anticipated.
It wasn't bad. You know, and Yatoro, he had this struggle sort of in the mid game where he's kind of stuck at like the lowest in net worth, but he was climbing his way back in.
He did good.
We saw at the end of that fight around the Roche pit, still a heavy amounts of damage done by the Ricky. So I think it definitely did better than it was kind of given credit. At the start of this game. It just was, overall, of course, wasn't good enough. Tundra with the outplays.
Yeah, Tundra with the outplays, and I think 9 and 33, they did like some pretty heavy lifting this game. 9 in particular, 20 and 2, but 33 with some very standard kind of stuff. The way they utilized the Fiend's Gate constantly. Even in that in the middle of that fight, he literally was like putting it down. Guys, go back to base, come back into the fight, reset. So a lot of really cool plays from him besides those auras that let them get that kind of lead. Even though Spirit, of course, fighting back a little bit. I think Tundra, those are 2 big things that I want to highlight.
Yeah, I mean, a very fun series. You know, game 1, very much impressed by Spirit's performance, and then this game 2, Tundra, they step it up, and that they pull out some of that top-level play that we know they're capable of as well. So a very fun back and forth here between the 2 teams, which will settle as a 1-to-1 here between Spirit and Tundra.
Thank you very much, ODPixel and Fogged. A 1-to-1 between Tundra and Spirit. I think Tundra was definitely showing that they learned a lot from that first game of this 2-game series. Team Spirit, little lackluster there. I do have to instantly go, Brian, to you because you were very, you were very vocal about your opinions and your thoughts on the Ricky carry. Having seen it in action, it did not completely get stopped.
Yeah, so when you're in the draft,
Yeah.
you're talking to your offlaner about like what they want to pick, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do if the guy says, I'm feeling